Tap your screen, tap your screen, tap your screen. Bamboozle your screen. Today I'm just gonna do Q&As. So go ahead and ask me any questions you want to. I'll give you 2 minutes each. If you ask me how we got here and you don't understand how human beings are born into the world, you just lack education and you're not worth my time, to be honest. If you're still asking the question, how did you get here? It's embarrassing. It says a lot about your IQ. And I don't mean this in a mean way, it's just true. Every single one of us here was born. That's how I got here. There's no other way. There's really literally no other way that we got into the world. We were born here. That's it. It's not complex, it's not complicated. There's no mystery to it. It's as simple as that. Just because I disagree with you that God exists doesn't mean that I'm against God. God is not a real person that you can be against. It's just an idea. If I was against God, that would make God against me. Why are you the one responding instead of God himself? If I was against God, why doesn't God himself? Why do you assume that the world was made? Why do you assume? Let me tell you something, okay? A smart person will ask a question and will consider the possibility of knowing the real answer and will prioritize what they can know and what they can't know. The subject of who made the world is one of the most irrelevant questions you can ask because the question answers itself. Who made the world? Why does someone have to have made the world? To assume that someone would have to make the world would also give birth to the question, who made the person who made the world? The world does not appear like something that was made. The world is a consequence of natural phenomenons. It's simple as that. It's not too complicated. And if you complicate it in your mind, you just confuse yourself.
Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Turn on your
I just
camera.
want to ask you, why do you believe that there is no God?
Turn on your camera if you don't mind.
Turn on my camera?
Yes, sir.
All right, yeah, there we go. So I want to ask you, why do you believe that there is no God?
I don't believe that there is no God.
Is that not what it says?
I didn't say I believe there is no God. I
Is that
simply
not what the
said,
topic is?
yes, but I didn't say I believe that there is no God. I simply said there
There
is no
is no
God.
God?
Yes. That's a true
Okay, so
that's a true
why do you
statement.
why do you say that why do you say that there is no God?
Because we found out that there is no God in the same way that you found out that there's not something there. Right? When someone talks about something and it's not there, you simply have to observe. And if you don't find it there, it means it's not there. God is just an idea. There's no such thing as
Okay,
God in
so
the real world.
I will ask you a quick question then. Do you believe that George Washington exists?
I don't believe anything in particular.
Okay, so does George Washington exist?
It's probable.
So you're saying that he might not exist?
It's possible.
Okay, so let's change this. Do you believe? Do you think things in the past exist?
No.
What?
That's why it's called
So
the
what do you
past.
believe? You only believe that you only.
Hold up. Relax, relax. You asked
Well,
me, you asked me,
I would say that.
hold up 1 second.
No, keep going, keep going.
You asked me if things in the past exist in the present tense. No, sir. That's why it's called past. There are many things in the
Oh,
past
okay.
that
Then let's say
existed.
okay.
Hold
Let
up.
me then let me.
Hold up. Let me finish what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, let's say that. Let's say that.
Hold up. Let me finish
Let's
what
say
I'm
that.
saying. Let me finish my words, bro. There are many things in the past that existed that don't exist anymore. That's the context by which you use the word existence.
Okay.
Existence is not, it's not in doesn't imply permanency. There is an impermanence within existence. Things come into existence and go out of existence, figuratively saying. So yes, if something is past, it means it's no more.
Okay. Okay. So did it exist?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So boom. Now we come to the conclusion that things in the past once existed. Just because you don't see something or you're not seeing something at the moment does not mean that it didn't exist or that it does not exist.
There's a difference. It
Right?
depends. It depends on how you vocalize it. Of course, if you're talking about things that existed, we can still logically observe and investigate and look at the evidence that would suggest that something existed. As for things that do exist in the present moment, the most accurate way of concluding that such things do exist is by observation. And then there are also things that will exist in the future. And you can also logically investigate and look at the path that things are moving and see if such things could possibly exist. Like flying cars, for example. Would flying cars exist? Yes, that's very possible. It really depends on how you define a car, right? There was a time when electric cars did not exist, but people could foresee that future. It's realistic. But once something is out, it's not realistic, then it is not even a matter of if it existed or exists or will exist. No, it's just not realistic.
Okay, so I understand. So now you're saying that God does not so now you're saying that God does not exist because it is not realistic.
Yes, the idea of God is pure fiction.
Okay, so that's what I was just trying to understand. Okay, now I got it. So I would say that I completely disagree with you, right? The reason why I would disagree with you is because I believe that we can observe evidence that God exists.
Not if the original thought came out of our imagination. There was not an entity called God that independently presented himself, gave us undeniable evidence that was evident to anyone that observed, and then all of a sudden we started having the idea of God. No, the idea of God was conjured up in somebody's mind. It's conjured up in people's minds. That's why when you go to different culture, they conjure up different ideologies of it. It's something that human beings ponder about, and it's usually born out of ignorance as to how the world really works. When people look at the world and the vastness of it in comparison to themselves, they have the tendency to hyperbolize, right? And personify natural things. That's just what it is. The idea of God is not independent of human imagination. We conjure that idea up in our mind. That's why the best way to propagate it is belief, opinion, my belief, my God, what I think, because you are making it up in your head, which is okay because believing is something humans do. Imagination is something humans do, just like Superman and Santa Claus. You know what I'm saying? God is not independent of human imagination. If you took human beings out of this world, the idea of God will vanish along with human beings.
I would disagree, right? The reason why I would disagree because again, as I stated earlier, there is observable evidence that we can prove that God exists.
No, you cannot prove that something
There's
that you
evidence
imagine
that
in your head
the
exists.
evidence is something that you can observe right now.
Listen,
What do you mean
the,
that I'm imagining in my head?
I will tell you.
It's something
Listen,
that we can observe in our reality.
what we are observing in our reality does not naturally imply a God. It implies complexity. It implies natural occurrences. And for you to isolate God as a
Uh,
source of these things literally requires a stretch that is only consistent with mental illness. It's like you stepping out of a cave and you see a
I would
beautifully
disagree
built
again.
city. Hold up, let me finish. Like I said, I always use this example. If you step out of a cave that you've lived in your whole life, you've never stepped out of that cave. There's nothing but a stream and a fireplace in that cave. And you step out of that cave and you see a city like New York City. And the first thought that goes through your mind is that, oh, there is an almighty supreme being that built this city. Of course, to you, it would appear that way because obviously you have no clue how cities are built. It's something overwhelming you've never been exposed to. But come to find out, it was built by generations of human beings, tiny little creatures, everybody contributing a little bit here, a little bit there. And then after time has accumulated, you get an entire city. When you look at the world and the world is complex and the stars, it doesn't imply an almighty supreme being. It's the same thing as any complex thing. No complex thing is made by a singular individual, but contributions come throughout time, innovation, inventions. That's how it works. So whatever evidence you're going to use to imply your almighty supreme being is just something you conjured up in your mind due to your lack of understanding of how the world really works. The world works in this way. Nothing is made by a singular entity. No, nothing complex is built, designed, and preserved by a singular entity. It takes a
I
combination.
would disagree, right? I would disagree once again, right? Because now what you're saying is that something such as a watch is not made by a single, cannot be made by a single individual. Things that are complex, right? Things that are complex begs for a mind, right?
No,
So if the universe itself is complex, right, that means that it begs for a creator or a type of mind to create
no,
that,
no,
right?
no.
So
Complexity.
you literally just said that yourself.
Listen carefully. Not all complexities are the products of a mind. Complexity can also be the product of random, but consequences of natural phenomena that were not triggered or initiated by any specific mind. In fact,
Can you
that's why
name
that's
one?
of course I'll name multiple. That's why it's called complexity. When minds are involved, there is actually no complexity. There is simplicity. That's what minds do. Minds cannot understand complex things naturally, so minds always seek to simplify things. Complexity is disorder. Order is simplicity. You understand? For example, the sand on the sea. When you look at it, at first it's random, but every grain of sand sits at a specific angle on another grain of sand. There's nobody sitting down there orderly putting those sand grains together. Depending on how the waves blow and how the wind blows, the sand will take whatever shape or form it takes. When you're walking and you leave a foot and you leave steps behind, you're not intentionally leaving a specific sign. You're just walking randomly without any specific intent to leave a specific steps, right? Depending on how soft the soil is beneath you, it will determine how deep your leg will sink into the sand. It's just natural phenomenon. That's what happens. When you need to piss, you don't think to yourself, "Oh, I'm going to piss and I need to piss." Pissing is a natural consequence of you drinking water. It's gonna come out. When you sweat, it's not because you want to sweat and you thought down there and develop in your mind that, okay, I must sweat. No, it's because guess what? It's a natural phenomenon. There are so many things. In fact, everything in our world is like that. When we put our minds to work, we don't put our minds to make things complex. We put our minds to simplify things. That's literally why technology is technology. Anything that is designed by a mind is for the purpose of simplicity, not for complexity. We don't design a computer to make things more complex. We design a computer to calculate bigger numbers because we can't do that shit with our mind.
Okay. Then let's say, I don't even understand why we're even talking about this because I can agree to this,
Of course
and
you
this
don't
still would
understand.
involve this still would. Hold on. I let you speak, so you have to let me speak now. So the reason why I say I can agree to this is because this not even what I would call for an argument for God, right? The argument that I would use for God is the simple fact of change, right? I believe that change occurs. I believe that change is the actualization of potential. No potential can actualize itself, correct? Correct? Because what you're because what am I?
You just lack the understanding of the world. That's not what change implies. Let me tell you what change is.
So what is change?
When an unstoppable force meets an
Change. Tell
immovable
me. Explain.
object, when an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, there is a balance. Nothing really
So what do you
happens.
mean by this?
Hold up.
Can you give me an example?
I'm gonna tell you. When an unstoppable force meets an immovable object, there is a balance until the unstoppable force either overwhelms the immovable object or the immovable object quenches the momentum of the unstoppable force, right? When there's equilibrium, then there is consistency, but something eventually gives. It's called weight and balance, right? You have to find the center of gravity or the center of balance, right? Of everything in the world. Change is due to the fact that there is no force, there is no element that can maintain one specific form because it's constantly in conflict with everything else around it. Like fire, fire can't burn forever because it doesn't have an unlimited source of fuel, right? If it had an unlimited source of fuel, it would burn forever. And the
That's
existence of
not
water,
change. That's not change.
bro, that's change.
That's not change.
When the flame is
That's not
burning,
change.
that's change. That's change, going from one form to another, one
When a
state to
flame is
another.
burning, that is okay. So boom. Thank you. That's all I have to say. So then you completely agree with my definition of what change is when a potential is being actualized. That's what it is. That's literally what you
No,
just explained.
I don't think you have
That's
any.
change.
I don't think you understand what potential means, and I don't think you understand what actualize means. What does potential mean?
Okay. No. Potential means something that it can be in the future. Or something that let's say that. Something that can be
When you talk
something that
about
it can be
future
in the
things, it's
future.
always imaginary. You're
That
just making it up in your head. You should
okay, so you're telling
talk about
so what you're
present
telling me
things.
right now is
Talk
that
about present things.
why do I only have to talk about present things?
Because it's observable and it can
That's not
actually
what
be.
change is. Change is not change. Go ahead and explain.
When something goes from one state, one form, one shape,
Explain
one
why do I have to
dimension
talk
to
about
another,
present?
that's change.
Yes, that is called that is literally the actualization of potential. That is literally what I'm saying. Well, I completely agree with you.
Okay, sure. Let's say you agree with me, then what? That doesn't prove a God.
If I agree with you,
That
right?
proves how nature
But
works.
because you didn't let me finish, did you? You have to let me finish. What I'm saying, I said, this is what I said, no potential can actualize itself, right? Which means that no change can occur without something that is already in the process of changing. For example, let's say I have a cup of coffee, right? This cup of coffee cannot be cold unless there is cold air around it, correct?
Because
Because that is
nothing,
what you explained to me, right?
listen. Nothing in our world is independent of its environment. So the cup of tea is not
Yes,
separate
I
from the.
completely agree.
Hold up. The cup of tea is not, or coffee is not separate from the environment around it. In fact, without the environment around it, you don't have the cup of tea. And the cup of tea is a part of much more, right? The temperature in the cup of tea
Yes.
has to be in balance with the temperature outside of it. It's either more in terms of heat or it's less in terms of cold. But eventually things balance themselves out. Because guess what? All fluids always follow the path of least resistance. Heat flows the same way that water flows. That's why if you put a cup of coffee, the heat would go from the hotter to the colder, and eventually it would mild down the temperature where the heat was
Yes.
accumulated. That has nothing to do with God. That's just natural things.
Yes.
That's how
So we
nature
agree
works.
to that, right? You didn't let me finish. You didn't let me finish. All I'm doing is getting clarification from you so I can make sure that we're on the same path. That's why
When
I'm
this,
asking these questions.
you should
Okay,
make you
so
should
now
make
that
your
we agree
point.
that no potential can now since we agree that no potential can actualize itself, right? That means we can do that. Since we agree to that, right? So no potential can actualize itself. Now we go into this thing where change exists within a hierarchical series, correct?
Not necessarily.
Correct?
Not necessarily.
So you're telling me right now that that change does not need. So you're telling me right now that change does not need an arranged, like basically an arranged of like ranks of or let's say order. It doesn't need any of that.
No,
So you're telling me
disorder.
that. So you're telling me that a cup of coffee.
Change can occur in disorder. Change is not exclusive to order or disorder. Change is just change.
Oh my gosh, how is change just change? First, we already came to this conclusion that change is the actualization of potential. We already agreed to that.
It doesn't require
We
any
already came to
specific.
that conclusion.
It doesn't require any specific order. That is why every day you always learn new ways of changing the same thing. One thing can
So you're
change in
telling me right now that a
many
cup of
different
coffee.
ways.
So you're telling me that a cup of coffee. Do you know what you're saying, right? You're basically right now what you're arguing for right now. You're basically saying that a cup of coffee does not need cold air to be cold. That is literally what you're telling me right now.
Not
It needs
necessarily.
the cold air. That is the
No,
order. It
no,
needs the cold
no,
air.
no,
The
no.
cold air.
No, listen, a cup of coffee can get cold if you put ice cubes in it. It doesn't need cold
Whoa!
air.
How did the ice cubes get cold?
Ice cube,
How did the ice cubes get cold? That is
ice
still an
cube.
arranged order of events.
Listen. Of course, but it's not directly related. So there's no
Whoa!
specific order, like you said. There's no specific order, right? It's random. It just depends on the specific
There's no one
circumstance.
order. Now listen, I'm not arguing that there's a specific order in which it's only one order. There's many ways that a cup of coffee can get cold, but the way that it gets cold will still be in an arranged order of events. It will still be
It's
in a base
it can
in
be
an arranged order. It does not need.
it can be due to a series of events, not necessarily arranged. It's cause
What
and
do you mean?
effect.
So you're telling
It's
again. So you're
cause.
telling me right now.
It's cause and effect, right? Cause and
So you're
effect
telling
doesn't have to be intentional. You're making it seem like anyone is going there and intentional. No, it doesn't have to be intentional. It's cause and effect, right? If two things have
I've
different
never said
molecular
that.
structure, yes,
I've
it
never
doesn't
once
have
stated that.
it doesn't have to be order. It can be the product of disorder. That's why some things are called accidents. Come on, bro. Your car doesn't have to crash.
Oh my
Car
gosh!
car,
Again,
car accidents don't happen in any
see,
arranged
see,
way, right?
you're not following the argument correct. You're not following the argument correct because, as I once stated, whatever made this
Check this
cup of
out. Let
coffee
me do
cold,
you a
right?
favor.
Whatever started that.
Let me do you a favor, bro. Just go straight to your point.
Oh my gosh, I can't go straight to my point if we're not following through the same argument.
No, just
You have
don't.
to follow the argument for me to get to the
I
point.
don't have to follow your
Okay,
argument.
I'll
I
just
think
state
you
the
can go straight to
premises.
your point.
All right, I'll just state all the premises, and you just tell me what problems you have with the premises. So again, change occurs. Change is the actualization of potential. No potential can actualize itself unless something already actualizes it. Change exists within a hierarchical series of events. Therefore, there must be a first member, something that is purely actual. Now, tell me everything that you find that is illogical in this whole in all the premises, in any
Because
premises.
you said therefore there must be something that is actually actual. You just made that shit up in your head. Because if everything is, that means there's an infinite regression.
How did I make that up? That is
Listen. Everything you just said proves that there's an
there
infinite
is no
regression.
infinite regression, right?
Okay, if there's no infinite regression, that means that
Oh
there's
my
no
gosh.
specific order of things.
How? Explain.
You said no potential can be actualized, right? Without something else.
Can actualize itself. I said
Right.
that. That's
So guess
yes.
what?
But then I also
So it
stated
doesn't
that
matter.
change. I said that
Listen,
change.
no,
Hold on.
listen.
Hold
No,
on. Because you're not following the argument.
hold up. If no potential can actualize itself, that applies to everything, everyone, at every point in time. You don't get to make up in your head that, oh look, but there is one potential that didn't actualize itself and then actualize everything else. You are contradicting yourself in the same breath. If no potential means no potential. It doesn't matter if it's divine or earthly or whatever. No potential can actualize itself. That means there is no first potential that actualizes itself. It's an infinite regression.
Okay, so can I explain
Because
how
you
it's not an
said
infinite regression?
you
The
didn't
reason why
say
it's not. Hold on.
hold up, bro, because you're dancing in circles.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh,
brother.
bro.
You've defeated your own argument.
I didn't even say anything. How you gonna?
Listen. You've defeated your own argument by saying that
Oh
no
my gosh.
potential. No potential means no potential. No potential
Can you let me finish?
is bro. I'm talking. Listen,
You have to let me finish if you want to understand the argument.
bro. I understand your
Now,
argument.
again, the reason why I
You
said that. The reason
listen,
why I said that.
bro.
Oh my
Relax,
gosh,
bro.
host.
Relax. You're simply literally trying to
I'm not.
make the
I'm good.
bro. Listen. You're trying to make the argument
I'm
of the
good.
on. You're trying to make the argument of the uncaused cost. You're just trying to use many words,
No,
and
I'm
you
not.
think, okay,
No, I'm not.
okay, go to the very beginning. Then, how does the process begin of actualization?
The process begins by using change to introduce the actualization of potential. That is
So
literally
what?
the first. That is literally the first two premises.
The what?
That is the first two premises, right? States this is what I did with the first two premises. I used change to basically introduce the actualization of potential. That is the first two premises. That is literally the first two premises.
Bro,
Now,
you
the
understand
reason why
that?
that there is no infinite regression, the reason why there's no infinite regression is because change exists within a hierarchical series. Every last member is dependent on each other. There cannot be an infinite regression of dependency. There cannot, because other than that, then the whole causal chain would not begin or would not
So
start.
if there's no infinite regression, what is there?
Then there's a first. There has to be a first member.
Okay, how did the first member actualize
Something
itself?
that something the
How did the
first
first
member.
member actualize itself? How did it get actualized?
How was the first member a purely actual being?
No. How did
Is that
it
what you're asking me?
actualize itself? There's no such thing as a purely actual being because a being does not actualize itself. You've already made that statement. So we don't assume that there is a purely actual being because you said no being actualizes itself. The moment you say purely
Because it
actual
has no.
being, you're
Because
contradicting your own self. Right? So now I'm going to ask a question, right? If there is a first member, how did it actualize itself?
it has
How?
no potentials. It has no potential to be
How?
actualized.
Okay,
Because
then listen.
because
Listen.
because
If
it
it
is ungrounded.
listen. Anything that doesn't have the potential to be actualized cannot actualize something else. Because to be, you need to be actualized. You understand? So if God was not made, God cannot make something. If that first thing,
How can you be actualized? How can you be actualized with no potential?
that means you don't exist. If you have no potential, you don't exist. You need
What?
potentiality to exist. Yes, you cannot exist
How?
without potential.
Okay, explain to me why. Explain to me how, and explain to me how something that is. So you keep going. Explain to me how.
You remember
I
how I
really want
said
to
to
hear
you,
this.
you remember how I said to you that you're just trying to make the argument of the uncaused cause, and you literally turn around in circles and came right back to telling me that there is a potential.
That is not the
There is,
uncaused
bro,
cause.
bro, bro, if it has no potential, that means nothing caused it, right? Right?
And no, if it has no potential, that means nothing can actualize it.
That means that it wasn't caused, right?
Nobody. No, that's not what I'm stating. I don't know why you're
Bro,
trying to
bro,
show me
okay,
that.
okay, okay. If it has no potential, ask what causes it to happen? What causes it to be?
What do you mean? There is no cause. There's no. It has no. It's
So
no
that's what I'm
cause. It's
saying to
nothing. It
you.
has nothing
That's
to do with
but that's what
cause.
I literally just said. You're simply saying that
No.
it has no
What I'm
cause.
saying
It has no cause,
because
right?
because I'm not speaking of cause. Oh my gosh! Because there's no cause in this entire argument. There's no
Bro,
cause.
bro,
I don't know
bro.
where you're getting cause
We are
from.
talking our entire conversation is literally cause and effect.
We're talking about actuality and potentiality.
Actuality
You
is
have to
cause and
you
effect.
you can't bring cause.
Actuality and potentiality doesn't work without cause and effect, bro. Something needs to cause you
What do
to
you mean that it does not
actualize.
work without cause and effect?
Like the cup of coffee cannot get cold if something doesn't cause it to
Okay,
get cold. Something needs to cause. It's literally cause and effect,
okay,
bro.
hold on. Okay, okay. So I can get away from this argument. Let's say yes. I'm speaking of an uncaused cause. Let's say that.
That's illogical.
Where
That's
do we come with
illogical.
this?
That's
I don't get it.
illogical. Because an uncaused cause is
How is it
equals.
logical?
Listen
How?
to it. Listen. An uncaused cause equals to zero. If it's not there, it's not there. Uncaused means it's not there. To be
How
there,
does
you
an
need to be
uncaused?
caused.
Explain to me how uncaused. Explain to me how uncaused cause means zero.
Because it's not. It hasn't. If it's not caused, that means it never existed. It couldn't be there. It's nowhere at no point doing nothing. It doesn't exist. That's what an uncaused cause means. An uncaused cause
We
is
can say okay.
listen. Hold up. An uncaused cause is another way of saying that something doesn't exist. It's like zero minus zero.
I still don't understand how does
Zero
that mean that
minus
it's something
zero
that does not
equals
exist.
zero. It's not caused equals to zero. It's nothing. It's not
You
there.
all you're doing right now. Let me explain to you what you're doing. Right. This is exactly what you're doing. You're trying to compare mathematics with causal change. The reason why this is uncaused, right, is because it is ungrounded. This is the same thing as saying let's bring up a building, right? Are you going to tell me that every building comes from another building? No, right? It comes from something that is ungrounded. That is what I'm arguing for.
Bruh.
I'm not.
Whatever,
I don't get how you can. I don't get how you can say it does not exist.
whatever brought the building there also came from somewhere and was also caused by something else. So whatever made the building is not an uncaused
What?
cause. Whatever built the building
I'm not
also
saying that. I'm
also
not
came
saying
from
that it's an
somewhere.
uncaused cause. Oh my God.
Bro, the
See,
person the
hold on.
person whatever made the building did just appear of anywhere. Okay, so if you're gonna go back to that first thing that has no potential, that means it doesn't exist. You don't understand your own statement. You are mixing a bunch of philosophical principles together, and you've confused yourself, my brother. It's an infinite regression, like a circle.
I'm
If I
not
draw,
confusing
listen,
myself,
let me
right?
teach you something. Let me teach you something, bro.
There is no infinite
Listen,
regression.
yes, there is. You
Oh
just
my gosh, hold on. I've been listening this entire time. You're not letting me
listen,
speak.
bro. I literally let you speak
Oh
a
my
lot,
God.
bro. I
I can't
literally let
even
you
speak.
speak. I literally let you speak.
You
Don't
did
start.
it. You
Don't
really.
do.
I let you speak
Don't,
way more
bro.
than you.
If you don't get to let me speak, I'm the host of the show, bro. I let you speak. I let you speak because I want to let you speak. I'm
I
not compelled
understand that,
to.
but if you want to understand, if you actually want to
Letting
understand my argument, right?
you understand that
Listen,
when you, bro, you're literally talking to me. I'm not arguing with myself. I'm arguing with you. I'm only saying what I'm saying because of what you said. If I didn't let you speak, who am I talking to right now? I'm talking to you. So just because I need to let you speak doesn't mean I shouldn't
it's
speak.
because
I'm
I'm
speaking
not
right
saying that.
now.
I'm just saying that you should let me at least get to my point, right?
You've already made your
Because
point.
what I'm trying to argue,
You've made your point.
I never made my point because
Okay.
listen,
Relax,
the reason why I'm not
relax. If you've not made your point, I'm gonna give you one
going
more
to.
chance. I'm going to give you one more chance. I said to you, go straight to your point, bro. Okay, now go straight to your point, bro. It shouldn't take you more than 30 seconds. Go straight to your point.
Because I have to change the point because you basically brought up cause and effect.
Bro,
the reason why we're not speaking of cause and effect, right?
Bro, hold up. Go straight to your point.
I don't get to speak.
No, brother, go straight to your point.
I'm trying to.
Okay, you have 30 seconds. Remember that. Go ahead.
Okay, now the reason why I'm trying not to bring in basically the uncaused cause, right? Is because the uncaused cause is something that does not depend on dependency. That is why I bring up potential and actuality. That is it. That is literally all.
Does the first thing have potential?
Does the first? No, it has no potential.
Do you understand that potential and potential and actualizing is not independent of cause and effect? Do you understand that? That's literally a synonymous way of saying cause and effect. When something does not actualize itself, listen, when something doesn't actualize itself, that word actualization means something doesn't cause itself to happen. It needs to be actualized by something else. Like a baby doesn't give birth to itself. So it needs to be caused by something else. That's literally cause and effect. I was assuming that you're smart enough to understand that. Your choice of words doesn't change the ideology you're trying to express. You're talking about cause and effect. Nothing, you're saying that nothing comes out of nothing and nothing comes out of itself. Everything comes from something else. Oh, it's caused by a combination of something else. That's literally what you're saying. Now, listen carefully. This is what I was going to say to you about infinite regression. Okay?
Okay.
People who say that there is no infinite regression is because in their brains, when they imagine the world, they imagine a straight line. But our universe and everything in our universe is not in straight lines. It's in circles. Literally. Circles. Listen. I can agree to this. Brother, listen. Let me finish. A circle is an infinite regression.
Yeah, go ahead.
A circle is an infinite regression. Even if the elements within the circles don't change, a circle is an infinite regression. If I start from 12 o'clock and I draw a line and I begin to go in circles, I just keep drawing over that line and I keep going 360 degrees. A million years later, I will still be going just around that circle. It's an infinite regression because I'm not going anywhere, but I'm still moving. You understand? Time existence is circular.
Okay, thank you. I think I actually got what you mean. I thought you were basically saying that an infinite regression is basically impossible. I can agree with the actual infinite universe, right? And my whole entire argument was still false, right? The reason why it was still false is because what I'm arguing for is a primary cause for a secondary cause. So let's say, for example, I have an infinitely long paintbrush, correct? Are you telling me that this infinitely long paintbrush can paint itself?
No.
Why is that? It needs a primary cause, correct?
No.
So it does not need a primary cause to paint something.
Because a paintbrush is not the product of a singular cause. It needs causes. A paintbrush is made up of many different things.
That is my whole entire point. My whole entire point.
Listen again. It's not. Listen. The word is not primary cause, because every cause itself is an effect. Every cause is an effect. Something cannot be a cause if it's not previously an effect of a previous cause. There's no primary there. It's just cause and effect. There's no primary cause and secondary cause and intermediate cause. It's just cause and effect. You don't need to put an adjective in front of it.
So you're telling me, okay, so you're telling me that a ad infinitum of dependency could exist.
That's literally what the universe is. It's codependence. Nothing is absolute. Okay, listen, hold up. Listen. Nothing is absolute in our universe. There are no absolutes. And the absence of absolutes means that everything is codependent.
So explain to me how a ad infinitum of dependency can even occur without a first member or anything that starts thing off.
Listen, before you get the first, you first have to have the zero. You realize the word first is just another way of saying one, right? You can break one down. You can break 1 down to 0. You can simplify 1 down to 0. But even the distance between 1 and 0 is an infinite regression because you can go 0.000000000000000000000 for the next million years, 1. Then you can go again 0.0000000 for the next 2 million years. Bro, I'm talking, I'm explaining.
You didn't explain.
I'm explaining. I'm explaining. Listen.
Go ahead.
First implies that there has to be a 0 that comes before the first. You don't have a 1 without a 0. 0 is the number that comes before 1. When you say first, you're quantifying. Quantification doesn't begin with 1. Numbers don't begin with 1.
I believe that 0 has no properties. I believe 0 is equal to saying nothing.
You're correct. But there's still numbers that are less than 1. Bro, relax.
Exist.
Bro, are there not numbers that are less than 1?
Are there numbers that's less than 1?
Yeah.
Well, in mathematics, of course, but I don't think.
Bro, you can take anything and split it in half.
Again, okay. So
you can listen. What is mathematics?
You just asked me a question. I'm trying to
what is mathematics? What is mathematics? You think that mathematics is independent of the real world?
Abstract ideas.
Abstract ideas. Ideas of what?
They're just abstract ideas.
So when you use the hold up. So when you use the word first doesn't exist because first is mathematical. You're quantifying. You're doing mathematics. Listen, the moment when you say to me first, you're talking about 1. First means 1. You're doing mathematics. So what you're saying doesn't exist per what you're saying. First is another way of saying 1.
No,
first, bro.
No,
first,
it's not.
Bro, stop playing that game, okay? Stop doing that shit. Come on. First, second, third, fourth.
I'm not doing anything.
Bro, listen again. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th, 17th. It's still counting. You're literally just using another word for numbers. First is 1. That is why I can say the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time. So listen, bro. Come on, stop going in circles with me.
So what do we call,
bro? Stop going in circles with me.
Negative first.
Stop going. Stop going.
I'm not going in circles with you,
bro.
I'm asking you a question.
Negative 1.
You have to let me ask questions because
bro.
right now I can
bro,
agree.
Stop talking.
I can agree they have a correlation.
Bro,
right?
if I'm talking, stop talking.
Oh my God.
People can hear both of us talking at the same time.
I'm asking the. Can I ask a question?
I'm still talking.
Bro,
I'm still talking though. I haven't come to a full stop.
Go ahead and talk. Go ahead, talk. Go ahead. I'll let you talk too much. Go ahead and talk though. Go ahead.
We are not going to digress from the fact that you literally shot yourself in the foot when you say mathematics is independent of the real world while using mathematics. Are you saying to me, listen, bro, are you saying to me that when you say first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, that's not counting? That's not counting?
I can agree that it has a correlation.
No, sir.
I can agree that it's
yes or no? Yes or no? Is that not counting? Is that not counting? Yes or no?
I'm not counting. I'm not counting at all.
Bro,
no.
So if you're not counting, what do you mean by first?
What I mean by first, all I mean is the first member. What I don't get what you mean by first.
What do you mean by first member? If there is no second member, how can you have a first? Listen. How can you have a first member if you don't have a second member, a third member? What's the need of a first member if you're not quantifying?
Can you let me speak first? Can you let me actually reply to you?
No, sir.
You just talking
over me? No, sir. I'm not letting you
you're not gonna get your answer then.
I'm not letting you escape from the fact that you literally demonstrated buffoonery by claiming that mathematics is independent of the real world.
Can you let me explain first?
No, I'm asking you questions.
Can you let me explain first, right?
No.
Oh my gosh. Okay, then I'm not gonna answer your question then.
Okay, then you can leave because you already lost the argument.
Right?
No, sir. I've asked you a question. I've asked you a question. I've asked you a question that doesn't require an explanation. I've asked you a question that does not require an explanation. My question does not require an explanation. You made a mistake.
Okay,
you made a mistake.
Okay, hold on.
You made a mistake.
Host, hold on. So no, I didn't make a mistake, host. Host, let me say this.
If you didn't make a
let's
mistake,
say I am
explain
counting,
to
right?
me
Hold
what
on.
first means. What does first
Oh my
mean? What
gosh.
does first mean?
Okay, let's say first means one. Let's say it means
What
one.
does first mean?
Let's say it means one.
No, we're not
I can agree to
saying.
this. I will
No,
agree to this.
no, no. We're not. Let's
Okay.
saying. We're not guessing. What does first
It's
mean?
one.
Is one mathematical or not?
Let's say one.
Is one mathematical or not?
Let's say one is mathematical.
Okay,
Just
then
so I can explain to you.
before you have one, you need to have zero.
Okay, so then what is the term for negative one? Do I say negative primary? Do I say negative first?
Bro. Yes, you can say negative
No, right?
first. Yes,
No,
you
right?
can.
No, right?
Bro, yes, you can say negative first.
Oh my gosh. Oh my
Just
gosh.
keep quiet and learn.
So you're saying
Keep quiet and learn.
So you're saying that when we speak,
Keep
right?
quiet.
You asked me a
Keep
question, I'm
quiet
trying
and
to
learn.
answer it.
Keep quiet and learn. I'm speaking right now, though.
Oh my god. I can't. Can you let me? Can I
Negative
speak?
one,
Can I
bro,
say anything?
you've made a statement. I'm gonna respond to the negative one thing. You hold up. Stop doing the whole, bro. Listen, if you're gonna interrupt me one more time, bro, I'm gonna go to the next guest.
I'm listening.
Negative one represents something that used.
You're not talking.
Bro. Negative one represents something that was there but is no longer there. Positive one represents something that is there, but there is nothing that is visible to be there. Because what was there is no longer there. That's why negative one comes before zero. So if God represents zero, that means that there was something before God that is no longer there. What is there now? One is the first thing that is observable. Beyond one, nothing is observable to be present. But there was something before one that is no longer there. That's why it's called negative one. Negative two is the second thing from infinity that was there. That's what it means. That's what negative and positive means.
Oh, okay. So can I explain to you why this does not make any sense, right? It's because we already agreed that zero means nothing, right? Nothingness is something that does not exist because nothingness has no properties. So therefore, zero.
It's not just
God
nothing.
zero.
It's not that nothing has no properties. Is that nothing?
Nothingness has no properties. You can look this up yourself.
Bro, relax. I've told you the way we understand the world. Negative one represents one thing that is no longer there. That's why negative one plus one equals to zero. It's not equals to one. Negative one plus one. Bro. Negative one plus one is the same thing as one minus one equals to zero. Let me ask you a question. What is negative two plus two?
What is negative 2 plus 2?
Yeah.
0.
What is negative 3 plus 3?
I don't. 0.
What is 3? What is 3 minus 3?
3 minus 3? Is that what you said?
What is 3 minus 3? Yeah.
0.
So when you take 3 minus 3,
from with this?
That means that 3 things minus, if you subtract those 3 things from reality, you get 0. That's what I'm saying. We with mathematics, we numerically represent things that used to be there, things that are not there at all, and things that are there. So negative numbers represent things that used to be, 0 represents things that don't exist at all, and positive numbers represent things that are there. That's how we quantify. And if on either sides of 0, you go to infinity. That's why it's an infinite regression. You cannot count to the last number. It actually begins from 0. Numeric. If you want to start counting, you can start counting from 0. It's the middle point. And then you go in either direction infinitely.
Host. Does 0 have any properties?
No. That's why 0 represents things that don't exist.
Okay, then. So God cannot be 0 if 0 has no properties. 0 is nothingness.
Does God have any properties? Does God have any properties?
I would say yes.
Okay, tell me the properties of God and tell me how you found out.
The properties of God, I would say God is something that is timeless or all powerful.
Yo, weird as hell.
Properties of God.
Yo, weird as hell. 0 is timeless and all powerful. Zero is powerful. Zero is timeless, right? No time.
How is
Bro, timelessness means no time. Zero.
we can say it's timeless. Let's say it's timeless, but I don't get how zero is all powerful.
Zero is all powerful because you cannot go from 1 to 2 without using zero. So for you to go to 1, you must go 1 point. Yeah, bro. Like zero is the building blocks of the numerical system, bro. 1.000000000 is the repetitive constant. You cannot count without zero.
Okay, so hold on.
Zero is
right here and just
listen.
You just sat right here and just dropped your whole entire argument.
Listen.
You just heard you guys see how he called God zero, right? But didn't say God.
Stop talking.
Timeless and all powerful.
Stop talking. Stop talking.
Oh my gosh.
Stop talking. And listen.
No, you got it, bro. You just dropped your argument.
Bro, are you gonna stop talking?
Your argument.
Are you gonna stop talking?
You already dropped the argument. You lost. You lost the argument.
Bro, stop talking.
You just sat right and lost the whole argument.
Are you gonna say that a million times?
Go ahead, talk.
Zero represents something that doesn't exist. Something almighty and all powerful doesn't exist. That's why zero is almighty and all powerful, because it doesn't exist. Things that are all powerful and almighty don't exist. There's no such thing as something that is almighty and all powerful that is not zero. That does not exist. So you can imagine something all powerful and almighty because it doesn't exist. That's why it's represented by zero. You get it?
It doesn't exist, right?
It's all powerful and almighty because
if zero does not exist, right? Therefore it's not a number.
You can imagine any properties for things that don't exist. Zero is a number. I'm not here to teach you basic
just said
mathematics.
Zero doesn't exist.
Zero represents quantities that don't exist, yes, but it's numerical. All numeralization begins from zero.
You just sat here and just said that zero does not exist.
Yes, but it's still a number.
You just sat right here and said that zero does not exist. If zero does not exist, that means it's not a number or anything.
I said to you that zero represents things that don't exist. Numbers are representations.
Okay,
numbers.
Now you're moving the goalpost, right?
Bro, I'm not moving any freaking goalpost. You just lack basic understanding. Right? You just lack basic understanding of basic math.
You just sat right. You just sat right here and just said that zero does not exist.
Okay, show me
that. Now you're saying that zero shows properties that does not exist.
Bro, I said zero represents what does not exist multiple times. So if I did say that zero did not exist, you understand what context I'm talking of. Do you understand context? If I say that zero represents things that don't exist, listen, stop talking, bro. If I say that zero represents things that don't exist 100 times, bro, if I said zero represents things that don't exist 100 times, and then in one statement I say zero doesn't exist, do you understand the context in which I say zero doesn't exist? I'm talking in terms of representation. That's why it's contextualized in that way.
Why didn't you say that? Is not what you said though. You said that zero does not exist. That you made that up.
Bro, was that the first thing that I said about zero? In this conversation, what was the first thing I said about numbers? Did I not begin telling you that did I not begin by telling you that one represents something that is there, and -1 represents something that's not there, and zero represents what's something that was there but is no longer there, and zero? Did I not start by telling you what numbers represent? There is no way I could have said to you that zero doesn't exist as my first statement, because I was literally talking about representation when I started. You were just slow. You were literally slow, and you forgot where the conversation began.
Oh no!
We literally began talking about what zero represents.
Oh my gosh! Host, I asked you. Host, we came to this agreement. Our first thing about zero, right? I said that I do not think that zero exists. I said zero has no properties. So I do not think zero is a thing. Or I literally said that. Did I not? You said I agree. Listen.
Because we are talking in the context of representation. Numbers themselves don't exist independent of representation. So a number in of itself is an imaginary thing that we made up in order to quantify what is there. So it's not necessarily the number itself, it's what the number represents. That's how numbers work. You will never just walk out in the street and see the number 2. That's abstract. So when we take that abstract thing and put it into the real world, and we represent things in the real world. That's what makes numbers useful. Listen, bro. The reason why I'm having this argument with you, bro, is because first of all, I can tell that you're not educated enough, and you just read a bunch of stuff, and you don't have a grounded understanding of the concepts you're talking about. So this is not things that you sit down and you studied at a high level. This is just things that you imagine in your head, and you hear little bits in here, and then you just regurgitate things that you've heard other people say without even understanding it yourself. You need to understand what numbers mean. You said to me that mathematics wasn't real.
I never.
And you just said to me that zero was not a
Yes,
number.
they're not. They're abstract ideas.
Bro.
No, I'm
Mathematics.
saying that if you're no. Listen, that's not what I said. Host. This is what I said. I said that if you're saying that zero does not exist, that means that is not a number. That is what I said. You're saying that you
Listen.
didn't say that.
Listen.
When we
For
hold
for
on,
you
hold on, when
to
we
for
came,
you to
hold on,
say
hold on. When we
that,
came to the agreement, right?
bro, dreadhead.
You have to let me finish, host.
Please don't be a dreadhead.
Because
Okay.
all you did was just misinterpret what I said and
Stop
agree
acting
with
like a dreadhead. I did not misinterpret what you said because you misunderstood what I said. I said to you that if I said that zero does not exist within the context of representation, you should understand that that's what I mean. Zero is a number
host.
that represents something that does not exist. Listen
Host.
listen right now. Listen right now.
Oh my gosh.
Zero is a number, okay? We're going to reset the clock. Zero is a number that represents something that is not there. Do you understand that?
Okay, let's come to that, right?
We're not coming to that. That's what I just said.
I said let's come to that. Let's agree to that. Let's agree.
We don't need to agree to that. That's what it is.
Okay, then we agree to it. If that's what it is, then we agree.
It is. You don't need to say we agree if that's what it is, because our agreement is not our agreement is not what makes it true.
I don't get why you why you want these. Okay, then let's
Go straight to your point. Go straight to your point.
Like, all I did was say that if zero shows something that does not exist, that means that zero has no properties, which means that that zero is nothing. Nothingness does not exist.
Zero is
Therefore,
still a number.
the number zero does not exist.
Zero is still a number.
It can be a number. It can be. Let's say it
Period.
can be a number, right?
You know what?
Unicorn can be a word.
Listen to me, bro. Listen, bro. Like, honestly, I'm way too smart to be having circular arguments with someone who's not smart enough. Maybe you just need time, right? You're probably young.
What are you talking about?
Bro, listen, let me finish talking.
No, listen.
Let me finish talking.
Listen. I'm
Let me
explain.
finish
Go ahead.
talking.
Like I've been letting you talk this whole 30 minutes, bro.
You're not smart enough. You don't know the things you're talking about. Like, I'm telling you with no ill intent in my heart. Like, you have zero understanding of the words that are coming out of your mouth. Listen. I'm not talking about agreement and disagreement.
No,
I'm talking about understanding and comprehension. You need to dedicate more time to study the things that we are talking about.
Host.
You need to master them, right?
I never said anything that you said.
I'm still talking.
I never said anything you said was wrong.
I'm still talking though. That's not what I'm saying.
Host, you even. Oh my gosh, talk.
Listen,
talk,
bro.
Host, talk. You've been talking for like 30 minutes.
I can talk for an hour and let you only talk for 20 seconds. That's my show. I don't know why you don't get that. When I say I'm still talking,
then you're not going to be able to get the answers that you want.
Bro, I don't want any answers from you. I know the answers to everything I'm talking about.
Host, you can talk.
If you interrupt me one more time,
you can talk, host. I don't care. Talk.
Next guest. There's 10 people in line, bro. Trying to educate a young man. The young man don't have the brain. Of course, the conversation reached a pointless point. You're correct. I literally just dedicated 1 hour to a slowpoke. Why do people argue about things that they don't understand? You don't even need to be a genius to understand numbers. How do you go through K through 12 without understanding numbers? How do you go through K through 12 without understanding numbers? What's up, Laurie? Hello, Laurie. Laurie's not there. Next guest.
Without nothing, no one creates, it's become and it's there.
Hello.
Would you believe? No. So now,
Hello.
if you know that this thing
Oh my
is
goodness.
Some people
create a
will
level,
believe.
Don't send your request. It's okay, Laurie. Hello.
Hello?
Yes, sir. What you got?
Yeah. Good morning.
What you got?
Can you hear me?
What do you have, bro?
Okay. I was listening to your conversations with the dreadhead though. So you have a point and he also have a point, understand? So but one thing you fail to understand is that zero only means something when added to a number. For example, when you add 0 to 1, it becomes 10. When you add 0 to 2, it becomes 20. When you add 0 to 3, it becomes 30, and so on and so forth. You understand? But when 0 stands on its own,
Bro,
it
bro,
means
bro.
nothing.
Status. Slow down. You're saying that 0 plus 2 equals 20?
When you add 0 to 2, it becomes
So
it
0
becomes 30.
plus 2 equals to 20?
I didn't say plus. I said when you
You just
add
said
0,
add. Addition is plus. That's what addition means. So I think
I
that you
said
are
when you put
confusing. It's placement. You're talking about placement. Yes, if you place 0 before a number, it doesn't
yeah.
change the quantity of that number. When you put 0 after a number, it changes the quantity of that number. If you put 0 after a decimal point, it represents less than a whole. That's what it means. So placement and addition is two different things.
I didn't say plus. I didn't say plus.
You
I
said
didn't say plus.
addition.
Understand? So
You
so
said
that's it.
add. You
But
said add.
when don't try to change the context though. You
Brother,
understand
you
what I
you
meant?
you use the word add though, right?
You understand?
You use
So
the
don't
word
don't change the
add.
context.
Brother,
You know what I meant.
did you not use the word add?
You understand? I said add in another context, not your context.
Listen. Add doesn't have any other context other than meaning add. So you should know how you should be skilled in the English language to use the right word to demonstrate the
You
ideas you're
understand?
trying to say. The word you're trying to say is placement. Of course, I understand what you mean. I'm just trying to get you to correct your language because not everyone is going to presume that add is not add. When you say use the word add in mathematics, you're talking about addition plus. So you should be
Eh,
smart enough to know the right word. If you place 0 after a number, a whole number, it changes the
mm-hmm.
quantity of that number by a tenth.
That is when zero is meaningful. But when
Brother,
zero stand on its
listen
own,
again,
it means nothing.
listen again. What are the multiples that changes if you put 0? What does 0 represent? Multiples of what? 0 is a
Zero
multiple of
represent
what?
zero represent nothing.
0 is a multiple of what?
Multiple of nothing.
0 is a multiple of 10. That is why every time, listen, from the moment you go, listen again, I'm going to teach you, okay? Because some of you, I don't understand why some of you guys, like I said, why do you argue about things that you don't know?
But wait,
The,
but wait, sorry. I
bro,
want to ask you a question.
stop talking.
How
I'm
does
talking. I'm
how
talking.
does how does
I'm
zero
talking.
how does
I'm
how
talking,
does
bro.
zero
I'm talking,
how does
bro.
zero
I'm
connects to
talking.
God?
I'm
Like what
talking.
does mathematics has to
I
do with
am
God?
talking.
That I don't understand.
I'm talking. If you talk one more time when I'm talking, I'm going to drop you and go to the next guest. The distance between 0 and 10 is how many numbers? How many numbers do you have to count from 0 before you reach 10? Before you reach the first number that you place 0 after a number, right? You said when you place 0 after a number, it changes the quantity.
Mm-hmm.
What is the gap between those numbers?
I don't understand.
Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you have 1
No, you don't
again. Bro,
you
stop
don't you,
talking.
you don't count zero. You don't count zero.
Bro, stop talking and listen. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you write 1 again, but this time around you put the 0 after the 1. That represents the beginning of counting again. Numbers comes in increments, right? Numbers are really 1 to 9 before you start getting repetition. 10 represents where the numbers begin to repeat themselves. So you put 0 after that 1, that represents a tenth. That means that 10 numbers have come before that 10. And then you start again from 1, but this time 11. We call it 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 19. Then you put 2, and then you put 0. That represents another tenth, 2 tenths. And then you start again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then you reach to 29, and then you put 3. That represents 3 tenths. That's literally what it is. So 0 comes in increments of tenths. In terms of when you put 0 behind a number, it's always going to be increments of tenths. It's always going to be. Now, if you put a decimal point, you get increments of tenths, hundredths, thousandths, tens of thousandths, 0.0, 0.00, 0.000, 0.0000, 0.00000, or 1 and 0, 2 and 0. Those are multiples of 10. So
can I talk now?
what you were saying about the placement of 0 is true. But when we put it, we understand what we're representing. It's systemic. That's why it's a skill. Math is a discipline. It's not for any goat that comes out of a village.
Okay,
A
can I say that?
a goat will never come out of the bush and begin to meh.
I'm giving you a chance to talk.
You're
I'm
not
giving you a
giving,
chance to
bro,
talk. Can I
you
talk?
don't give me a chance to talk, and I'm not going to let you talk if I don't want to. You will not force me to let you talk, bro.
I'm your guest. I should talk.
And you're my guest. I decide when you talk.
So, okay, you can't be saying what I don't agree to, and you're saying to keep quiet.
If you don't agree and you don't want to keep quiet, you can leave.
Okay, now what I don't understand is how mathematics, what mathematics has to do with God. What mathematics has to do with God being real or not. That's what I don't understand. Can you explain to me?
Because there's such things called real numbers. Do you know what a real number is?
Yes, I know.
That means that numbers can always quantify and represent real things. If God is real, God can be represented numerically. And mathematics
Okay.
is the system that we use to represent things numerically. So if God cannot be represented numerically, or if the number that represents God equals to 0, that means God does not exist. If the number that represents God is 1, then that means that there is another number that comes before God. God cannot be the origin of the
So that
world.
means you're trying to say that God means 0, right? It means
The only
nothing.
the way Christians and religious people define God, the only number that can represent God is 0, nothing. God is something that does not exist. God is something that can only
God
be
does not
represented
exist.
by the only number that can represent God is 0.
No, yeah,
0 by
okay, God does
itself.
not exist.
Yes.
Okay, so how did it come about, if I may ask?
If you ask me how I came about, bro, I disqualify you from being smart enough to talk to me. With all due
No,
respect.
you
If
should
you
tell
don't,
me.
if I'm not telling you
You
what
should
you
tell me.
I'm not telling you what you already know, so obviously, bro. With all due respect, I respect your intelligence so much, bro. I think it's an insult for you, for me to tell you that my father and my mother had sex and gave birth to me. For me to tell you that, if you don't know that and you're a grown man walking around,
Okay,
ish.
they have sex and give birth to you, and you think is in their power that they did that, right?
So you ever know somebody that has sex by mistake? Do you know do you know the definition of the word power? Power means the ability to do something. It is the power of my father and my mother that gave birth to me. My father had the power to strike. My mother had the power to receive. My mother had the power to endure 9 months of pain. My mother had the power to push, and they had the power to care for me. So yes, like I said to you, bro, if I have to explain to you how a human being comes into the world, with all due respect, bro,
Okay.
that will either be a
Does your
direct insult to your intelligence.
mom also believe that there's no God, and your dad?
Doesn't matter what my mom believes or what my dad believes. Truth is not defined by people's beliefs. Belief and truth are two different words. My mother can believe whatever she wants to. That's why I don't believe in anything. In this world, truth is truth. It's not about what you believe. All
Okay.
the messed up things human beings have done in this world is because of what they believe. White people believe they were superior to black people, right? So they thought it was the truth. You see how they treated black people. When you carry beliefs in your head, you're a walking ignorant machine. You're a machine that produces ignorance. If you live your life based on beliefs, you are an ignorant generating machine. You should live your life based on knowledge, understanding, and wisdom. When you know something, that thing is independent of your belief. When you understand something, it's independent of your belief. When you have wisdom, it's independent of your belief. Knowledge is information. Understanding is analyzing, dissecting, and comprehending that information. Wisdom is applying that information. Beliefs, you can sit down in your bed right now and believe anything. Right now, I can believe that I'm your father. I can believe I'm your father. And you must believe me by faith.
Okay. But sorry to ask, but because I believe that you went like this from Genesis, understand? So what actually changed your perspective about God? Like what actually made you to come up with the conclusion that there's no God?
I simply understood the world. You see, I gained understanding.
In what way?
By studying and separating what I have learned from my beliefs. So when I'm learning something, I'm not learning so I can believe. I'm learning so I can understand. If you're learning something and you're believing as you're going, you will start falling in love with what you believe. And then if that thing changes, you will no longer accept it because you've already fallen in love with a previous version of it. For example, right? Imagine that you're going to go and marry a woman that you have never seen. And you believe in your head that she's a beautiful woman. As soon as they put a woman in front of you, she has a nose like a man. Her shoulder is bigger than yours. And she has something hanging between her legs. Are you going to marry that woman? No, because you already believed that it was a woman, but they brought you a man. That's what beliefs do to you. When you don't know something and you believe it, when you actually see that thing and it does not match your belief, you become a madman. That's why you should never believe in things. If you tell me that I'm going to marry a woman, I want to see that woman first. Okay, I'm going to see that woman. Then before I make my decision. Before I hate or before I like her. If, like I said, if someone come and say to you, my brother, I have a daughter. Come to find out, my daughter is a man who thinks that he's a woman. Are you going to marry that one? Let me ask you a question. Will you marry her? Will you marry her?
See, you are actually deviating from the topic. You actually deviating from the topic. Now, I want to ask you, do you think your parents will be proud watching you displaying this fact that there's no God?
What do I look like, a child? I don't need anyone to be proud of me. People who need other people to be proud of you have low self-esteem. I'm a man. I'm grown. When I was a child, I used to desire my parents' approval. But I'm now a man. I stand by myself. I'm the one who will impregnate my wife, not my father, not my mother. I'm the one who will give birth to my children and raise them. Listen, let me tell you something, okay? There's something called maturity. Maturity represents independence. Independence of mind, independence of survival. When you're a child, you depend on your parents, that's true. But when you grow up, the expectation that your parents set for you cannot determine your destiny. Let me tell you something. That's why Africans are behind today, okay? Because our parents set low expectations for us. So they don't allow us to reach our full potential. The white man doesn't do that. If a white man's child get up and tell him that he feels like he's a woman, he's just going to let him be. If a white man's child get up and tell him that he wants to go and make thunder, he will just let him be. In Africa, you tell your parent that you want to play football, and you're actually good at playing football, your parents will tell you to go and be a doctor. Why would you tell someone to go and be something that they're not? I don't care what my parents think. My parents respect me enough to make my own choices. And I respect them as people. Let me tell you something, okay? Let me tell you something. I don't really see my father anymore as my father. I see my father as my brother. Right now, at this stage in my life, I see my father as my brother. He's just another man. When I think back to my past, I credit the help that I got to get where to when he was playing the role of my father. My father really played a role, right? He played a role. His role began when he impregnated my mother, when he took care of me when I couldn't take care of myself, when he worked hard to pay my bills. It's a debt I can never repay other than helping him in his own time of need. But now I'm a man. He doesn't need to play the role of a father anymore. He now needs to play the role of a friend and a brother. Because guess what? Do you know why a son can get up if you have a king and that king has a son? Do you know why a son can get up and eliminate his father and people will still crown the son? Because the son is now a man. When you're a man, you don't live your life based on expectations that other people have set for you. You live your life based on the skills and the talents you've acquired and your ability to do what you say you can do. If people
So a
approve,
child
so be
eliminating
it.
his father means he's not a man, right?
He is a man, but he's like my brother now and
Okay.
my friend and my friend. That's the role he
So
plays in my life. When my father comes to me and he's giving me advice, he's not giving me advice as though he's giving me a command when I was 5 years old. When he says, go to sleep, and I go to sleep. Stand there, and I stand there. My father doesn't do that. That's what a father does. A father has authority over you that way. But when I become a man, my father comes and says to me, Bakanga, you are tired. Don't you think you should sleep? I say, no, Dad. I don't need to sleep right now. I have responsibilities. Period. End of conversation. You see what I'm saying? So father
wait,
is a
sorry.
role. Father is a role. That's
Wait,
why in the black
wait.
family, we say you need to have a father there. You need to have a man in the family to play the role of a father. When you have a family where there is no man, nobody is playing the role of a father. And some mothers try. Some mothers try and they actually do a decent job. A woman can play the role of a father.
Wait.
It goes against her nature, but she plays the role. A woman can play the role of a father. There's a lot of single moms out there who play that role. A mother is gentle. A man is stern, strong, authoritative. Some women that have no choice. That's how the world works.
Sorry. Do you have a wife?
I have many wives.
You have many wives. Do you have children?
I have no children yet. I have my pull-out game is top class. I don't intend to have children in the next few years.
So when you finally have children, will you teach them to believe in your fantasy that there's no God?
I don't need to teach my children anything, and I don't believe in anything, so I will not teach my children to believe anything. I will simply teach them how to understand the world. And because I will teach them how to understand the world, it's not gonna be a fantasy. Let me ask you a question. Okay? And this question requires that you be educated. If you're a buffoon that came out of a village, you clearly will not have the understanding. Do you know that in China, from nursery school, from kindergarten, the Chinese people teach their children that there is no God? Do you think Chinese people are fools? Do you think that Chinese people are fools? Do you
Are
think
you a
that
Chinese?
Bro, I'm asking you a question. Do you think that Chinese
Are
people
you a
are
Chinese?
That's not the
Are you
question
a
I've
Chinese?
asked you. That's not the question I've
No,
asked
no,
you.
no. I
That
can't put
listen,
myself in that shoe.
listen,
I'm not a Chinese.
listen. If you ask me, am I a Chinese? You're deflecting from the question because you cannot answer my question. Like I said to you, a goat who came out of a village cannot answer the question. That is why you're trying to run away from my question. I asked you, do you know that in Chinese schools, Chinese people teach their children that there is no God? Do you know that?
I know that, but I'm not Chinese.
Brother, that's not a question I've asked you. I'm asking you if you know that.
I know that, but are you
Okay,
Chinese?
hold up. Now, I want you to reason a little bit. Why do you think Chinese people teach their children that there is no God? I mean, I don't expect a goat that came out of a village to know the answer to that question. I'm just testing you because maybe you're not a goat that came from a village. But if you're a goat that came from the village, then for sure you will not know the answer.
Okay,
But
now, can I answer that question?
I said to you, why do you think Chinese people teach their children that there is no God?
Now, to answer your question, I wouldn't know why they teach their children why there is no God, because me, right from a child, I've always believed that there is God, and I want to tell you this: it is not too late. Ask for forgiveness. God loves you. You understand?
Let
Ask
me
for
ask you,
forgiveness.
bro, stop going there. Stop making it personal. Our conversation is not personal. Now listen again. Why is it that the Chinese
Okay.
people are more technologically advanced, more society? Why are they more civilized than you and your father who taught you that there was a God? Why does your father who think that there's a God need to depend on what the Chinese man has made? So your father was so smart to teach you that there's a God. Your father cannot teach you how to make small iPhone. Your father cannot teach
So
you how to build. Bro, just listen. Your father cannot teach you how to build a road. The people who believe there's no God are in Africa today exploiting you and your father, and you're just sitting there. There is God. There is God. You will not make yourself smart enough to be smart and compete with that person. Who was the one who told your father that there was a God? Do you know that the people who told
really,
your father that there's a God beat it into your father? Were you not
wait.
colonized? My brother, were you not colonized?
Wait,
Did your
the
ancestors 10,000 years ago, did they believe in God? They believed in Jesus 10,000 years ago.
now
Your ancestors.
what I'm about to say now, what I'm about to say
Did
now,
answer my question.
I am
Answer
not.
my question. Answer my
Wait,
question.
wait.
Did
I'm
your
not throwing
ancestors
shade to
answer my
Chinese.
question? Answer my question.
I'm not throwing shade.
Did your ancestors,
I'm not throwing
brother?
shade
Answer my
to Chinese
question.
people.
Answer my question. Did your ancestors believe in God 10,000 years ago? Did they believe in Jesus?
No, they didn't. Of course, they didn't.
You're a disgrace to your legacy. Chinese people's ancestors did not believe in God 10,000 years ago. God came with
Just like
colonization.
you said,
Bro,
now you are shooting
status,
yourself on the
status,
leg. You
status,
are
I'm
shooting
talking.
yourself on the leg.
Status,
You are
status,
shooting
I'm
yourself on the leg.
status,
You are
status, I'm
shooting
talking.
yourself on the leg right
Status,
now.
I'm
You
talking.
said
Stop
you said
interrupting me, bro.
you don't need to believe what your ancestors believe.
Sometimes when you don't feed a goat, the goat just begins to go meh, meh, meh. That's all I'm hearing from you. The Chinese people know their history. They know where they're coming from. Even when the British attacked the Chinese people and tried to force Western beliefs on them, the Chinese people retaliated. They went back to their roots. They understood their legacy. The Chinese people were great fighters and conquerors. So now they have used their wisdom. They have modernized their wisdom. And now they are almost taking over the world. They are guaranteed to survive for a long time. They are setting up their children for success. When the Chinese man teaches his child that there is no God, he takes a computer and puts in front of his child and tells the child to break that computer down and build it back up. He teaches his child that you cannot depend on any God. You can only depend on your brain. So he starts teaching his child at the age of 5 years old how to make a computer, how to understand technology. That's what actually makes the world move. You can pray for 10,000 years. If you don't have money to buy food, you will die of hunger. You Africans. God, 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 God.
Okay, are you done? Can I talk now? Okay. Right before at the beginning of our conversation, you said you don't need to believe in what others believe, that you just believe what you believe. So how come you are suddenly trying to believe what Chinese people believe?
I was just using that in reference. It's not a belief to the Chinese people. The reason why Chinese people teach their children there is no God is because God doesn't actually exist. Chinese people don't teach their children belief. They teach them technology. Technology doesn't require belief. It requires understanding, practicality, and wisdom. So the Chinese man is teaching his child
Okay,
how to
so
actually control what is real. The Chinese man says, look at that African guy over there. He's walking around. He has gold under his feet. He has diamond. But his head is in the clouds. Go over there, give him $1 and tell him to relocate and then dig the ground and take that gold and go and sell that gold for $100 million. Because that African over there, he's not smart enough. That's what the Chinese man tells his child. So the Chinese man sends his child to Africa. He comes and meets your child and he tells your child, Jesus loves you. Go, we're going to help you build a church. While your child is in church, the Chinese man is on your
okay.
farm, digging your gold, taking your oil. In fact, the Chinese man will even borrow you money. He knows you cannot pay. And then when you cannot pay, he says, give me your whole village. Look at you. Are you
Okay,
ignorant? Are you ignorant?
wait.
Are you ignorant of what's happening in Africa right now?
Wait, bro, let me tell you something. Now, you gave an instance with China, right? Now let me give you an example too. The United States and United Kingdom, they both believe that God exists and they are better than China.
Americans have religions, but God does not run the American government. One of the most guiding principles
But
in
they believe
America,
in God.
bro, keep quiet. Let
But
me
they
teach you,
believe in God
brother,
and they are doing better than China.
brother. Just keep quiet. In the American system of government, there is one principle. There is a separation between church and state. The American people understand that. There are always going to be some people who have mental illness, who like to imagine things in their heads. And they don't really want to be hostile towards those people. So they tell you that, look, go and stay over there and believe in your God. But this government that we call the state, don't bring it here. That's why in the American government, They build nuclear weapons. They don't pray for spiritual nuclear bomb. If you touch the American man, what you're gonna see is the last thing you're gonna see is the flash of a bomb. You understand? The Americans know how to separate religion and reality. In fact, the American government discovered a long time ago that people who believe in God are easy to manipulate and control. So they are using it as a tool of control. You see what's happening?
What year was that? What year was that?
Bro,
Who discovered it?
bro.
What year and who discovered it?
Bro. In,
What year was that? Who discovered it?
in 1776, right?
Who discovered it?
In 1776, when the American government was
Who
formed.
discovered it?
Who discovered what?
Who discovered that the people believe in God are easily manipulated?
Oh, that's what Western philosophers. It wasn't discovered in one day. It's something that the kings of Europe used to do. Why do you think King James wrote the Bible and called it the King James Version? Because the King James wanted to separate England from the Catholic Church because the Pope used to have power over all of them. Listen,
Americans
listen,
here, please. Can you hear him?
listen,
Americans here, can you hear him?
brother. Where do you think I am right now?
Bro.
Status. Where do you think I am right now?
I don't know where you are, bro. I don't know.
Okay, I'm in California. I'm in California. I've lived in the United States for the last 15 years. I'm 30 years old. I lived my first 15 years in Africa, in Cameroon. Now I'm living in America. And you know, when we come to America, we hustle. We don't just play games. We hustle. And we accumulate a lot of money.
So
I'm living my life.
Why did you choose America? Why not go to China? Why not go to China? Since you love China, why not go to China?
I did not choose America. My parents brought me here when I was 15. When I was a child.
Then go to China. Since you love the way China since you love China China believe. Go to China. Go to China.
See, if I had the opportunity to go to China, I would go to China. You know, but that's not my goal. My goal is to go back to Cameroon and educate goats like you. You know, to make you to stop crying.
That there's no God. That there's no God, right? Educate people that there's no God.
Not just that there's no God, but to stop thinking like your slave master. Because you see, the thing about you, my brother, is that you are completely ignorant. The belief of God that you have was given to you by the white man.
It's not that. See,
bro, hey, hold up. Is Jesus Christ your Lord and your Savior? Yes or no?
He is.
Who gave you Jesus? Was your grandfather? Was it a black man that brought you Jesus? So you don't know the story.
Let me tell you something,
Hold up.
You are saying
what African country are you from? What African country are you from?
You don't need to know, bro. See, let me tell you something.
What African country are you from? I'm gonna mute you again, bro. What African country are you from?
I'm from Nigeria.
Brother, Nigerians believe in God. How long have Nigerians believed in God?
Way before I was born.
So Nigerians believe in God like the Americans, right? Right? You say America believes in God. Does Nigeria believe in God like America?
We do. I'm listening.
Nigerians have more churches than Americans, right?
No, I've not been to America. I don't know how many churches they have over there, so I can't say for sure.
Yeah. Check this out. They have more churches than Americans. Nigeria has about 200 and something million people, right?
Yeah.
America has about 350 million people. What is the difference between Nigeria and America? Why is Nigeria not a superpower, but America is? Why does Nigeria have no nuclear weapons, but America does? Why? You both believe in God. You both believe in God.
How old is America?
America is about 1776, about 200 years old.
How old is Nigeria?
Nigeria is about 1,000 years old.
That's a lie, bro.
Brother, do you even know what America is?
That's a lie, bro.
Do you know what America is?
No, tell me.
America is a country that was created when foreigners came from a strange land and came and created a country. The people who are in Nigeria today have always been there. It's not different people. Like the new people did not migrate and came and create a country called Nigeria.
Bro,
The name has changed,
bro,
but the people,
Nigeria,
bro,
Nigeria
the,
is 63
the,
years, in case you don't know. Nigeria is
bro,
63 years.
bro. You see, again, your brain is not working. The people of
Nigeria is
Nigeria,
63 years, bro.
how long have the people of Nigeria been in that land?
Bro, Nigeria is 63 years.
How long
And
have
you're
the
comparing
people,
it to a country,
bro?
and you're comparing it to a
How
country that have
long?
been in existence
How long have
for
the
200
people
and some
of Nigeria been in Nigeria? How long have the people in Nigeria been in Nigeria? How long have they been in that land, bro?
for
How
63
long?
years. For 63 years,
So you've been in that land for 63 years.
of course.
I knew you were a goat from a village. So the Igbos have been in Igbo land for 63 years. Yorubas have been in Yoruba land for 63 years. The Hausa have been in Hausa for 63 years. No doubt, bro, no doubt you think the way you think. You don't even know yourself. You don't know your own country. I'm Cameroonian and I know more about Nigeria than you. The Igbos.
So,
The Igbos.
okay, tell me
Bro,
more. Tell me more. How old is Nigeria?
bro.
Okay, how old is Nigeria? Tell me more.
How long have the Igbos been in Igbo land?
Tell me, how old is Nigeria? Tell me.
How old have the Igbos been in Igbo land?
No, since you know more, tell me, how old is Nigeria?
I'm going to ask you the question one last time, bro. One last time only. How long have the Igbos been in Igbo land?
I already told you, bro. It's for 63 years.
The Igbos have been in Igbo land for 63 years.
Bro, you asked me about Nigeria. Nigeria has been in existence for 63 years.
The Igbos have been in Igbo land for 63 years. Confirm, right? You're
Yes,
confirming
of course.
that?
Yeah.
All right, bro. Thank you for your
Confirmed.
time. Thank you for your time. Okay, you can go.
But before I go, please,
No,
it's not too
don't,
late.
don't say anything. Don't say anything. Trust me. Listen, bro. Listen, bro.
Ask for forgiveness so that God can forgive you.
Brother.
So you won't burn in hell.
With all due respect, bro, I really don't want to insult you, okay? Because you're
so you won't burn in hell, bro.
What
you won't burn in hell. Heaven is real. Hell is real.
What you are, you're the reason why Africa is the way it is. You're an embarrassment. You're a shame to us.
Bro.
You're a shame to us, bro.
Heaven is real. Hell is real.
This man doesn't even know the history of his own land. The Igbos have been in Igbo land for more than 1,000 years. The Yorubas have been in Yoruba land. Today, the Igbos still have their king. The Yorubas still have their king. The Igbos are like the Native Americans. Imagine if America today was made up of majority Native Americans. Then you would say that it's not the name that makes the country, it's the people that make the country. That's what he doesn't understand. The development of a country is determined by how long the people have been in that land. You have had 1,000 years to develop your land. The Americans had 200 years. How did I manage to talk to two uncivilized, uneducated people today? I don't understand. But it is what it is, because a lot of you are just like them. I'm being moderate when I say 1,000 years. What's up, man? Go straight to your point. I'm not going to give you too much time. Go straight to your point. I'm not going to give you too much time.
Okay. Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, from the last speaker, it shows that Nigerians, if he's in Nigeria, I don't know, but I don't know where that guy come from. I think the guy, if he were online, I would have asked him how old was his grandfather, his great grandfather. Maybe they fell from the sky, or migrated from US to Nigeria and be 63 years old. You know, that is the problem we have in Nigeria: history and lack of education, poor mentality. When people are being misguided, misoriented, you hear things like this. How can Nigeria as a country be 63 years old when amalgamation took place in 1914?
Bro, let's not even talk about
Northern and Southern Protectorate of Nigeria. took place
bro.
in 1914.
I do not even want to
He is
go.
counting the age of Nigeria from independence.
That's what I'm telling him. It's not the name that makes the country; it's the people. If
Does
the
this guy
people,
know what he's saying?
he does not. If the people of the land don't change, it doesn't matter what you call it. You understand?
That is it. You see, people, I don't know. People don't understand. I don't understand what. Well, you won't blame him. In Nigeria, they don't teach history. You understand? They don't teach history,
They
and
teach the,
that
they
is
teach
why.
they teach them that the world is going to end very soon and Jesus is coming back.
Yes, that mentality of don't make money, leave your money for the whites to come and collect and build their future. Why you believe in heaven and
White people are
is it
very
heaven and
intelligent.
hell?
White people are very
You
intelligent.
understand?
White people, Chinese
You
people are
understand?
very, very intelligent people. We Africans were very intelligent, but we're extremely indoctrinated. White people are very intelligent. When you're dealing with a
How
white
can
man,
this guy?
you
In
cannot be a
fact,
fool. When you're dealing with a
I
white
was
person, you cannot be a fool. You
I
know.
was I was pissed off when I hear him say Nigeria is 63 years old.
Was Nigeria were there not nations in that land before the colonial masters came? Those nations, have they gone anywhere?
My own mother senior Nigeria in age as a country. So did my mother fall from the sky? You understand?
Thank you.
I'm an
Thank
Igbo
you for
person.
thank you for your time, my brother.
I know
Exactly.
my
I was,
roots.
of
I know
course you
my
know your
grandfather, I
roots.
know my great grandfather, I know where they come from.
You
So
know
maybe he doesn't know.
you know your roots beyond what the colonial masters told you. He knows that Nigeria is 62
So
years
that
because
is
that's
just
what his
it.
colonial masters told him, right? He doesn't know his grandmother
That
never
is just
told
it.
him where she came from. So maybe his grandmother fell from the sky, like you said. Or maybe she came from the marine kingdom. Maybe his grandmother came from the marine kingdom or from the prince of the
That is
power of
that
the
is
air.
that is what the politicians in Nigeria used to deceive a lot of us. A lot of them
Or
telling
she
them
came
that
from
Nigeria is too young to develop.
she came from the
Yeah, you
evil.
understand?
That's one of the saddest things I
Yeah.
see in Nigerian politics, right? Telling
They,
them that
te-
oh,
they
Nigeria
tell
is a
them Nigeria
young
is too young to develop. You are
because
comparing Nigeria with America. America is a nation that people came together and formed a nation and start growing. Nigeria has been there for decades. Can you compare America with Egypt? These
exactly.
are countries that have been there for decades. These are countries that never changed. These are countries that have witnessed civilization for decades. In
Thank you
fact,
for your
for centuries upon century.
thank you for your time, my brother. I
I
appreciate
don't
you.
know. I don't know how people reason.
Thank you
I
for your
don't.
time,
If
bro.
another white man comes and changes the name of the country from Nigeria to maybe another name or United States of Nigeria, then you will tell you that the country is just a year old or 3 months old. Then development is just starting.
Thank you for your time,
But don't you
Emeka.
know that the name of the country can change tomorrow from Nigeria to another name? Then when the
Emeka,
name changes, then that becomes
Emeka
the country
Jaw.
becomes a year.
Jaw, I don't hear you now. I
Car.
don't hear you. Thank you for your time, bro. No problem there, no
All right.
problem no day.
You're
At
welcome.
least, you don't demonstrate, say, some Nigerians they where they get sense. Someone they don't get sense, but
Car.
you get some other ones where they think. As long as some of you they think, then the future is bright. Because you only need one wise man, honestly. You can have 100 fools. One wise man is enough sometimes. In this situation, it's okay. No need. Huh? If
To
that
ask.
guy, if that guy fathers children, the most you can do is
We have a lot of
educate.
questions to ask.
Thank you, bro.
We have a lot of questions to ask. We have a lot of questions to ask the white men. We have a lot of questions that have been asked that does not have answer.
I hear
We
you,
have
Emeka.
conflicting questions.
I hear you,
Yeah, we
Emeka.
have conflicting questions.
I know get plenty time, my bro. Now I know I move
Okay.
you without saying bye now. Bye. Thank you.
All right. All right. Bye bye.
What's up, Calvin?
What's up, man?
What you got for me?
You said there is no God, right?
I did say that.
Is that a statement or a fact?
It's an undeniable, observable, provable fact and truth.
Can you drop us some evidence?
Bring God here or show us, point us in the direction in the real world where we can find God.
Show me some evidence. You say it's undeniable, which means that you have something that you can to deny. So
I'm
drop that in
telling
there
you,
for us.
do you know how to distinguish between the absence of a thing?
Drop it in there for us.
Hold up. Do you know how to tell that something is present and something is absent?
Correct.
Okay. The absence of God anywhere
Was
within reality is evidence that God is not a realistic thing.
what? Okay, so when you define realistic, you're saying that it's touchable, seeable, correct?
Reality is defined as the state of the world and things as they actually are.
Correct.
As
So
opposed, hold up, as opposed to idealistic or conceptual ideas, notions of them. So reality
right,
is different from idealism, conceptualization, and notional. So if you're talking about something
correct.
that is real, you can always
Prove,
point
prove,
to it.
prove a thought.
A thought is provable by the act
How
that
how
follows
how
the
is it
thought.
provable? Show us a thought.
A thought, you cannot show someone a thought as much as you can express a
Right,
thought.
right. But we
A-
but
a-
we human beings think. Wouldn't you say that?
Thinking is an act that is defined by the concepts of thoughts. Thoughts are conceptual.
Right, but you can't touch a thought.
No, you
Can you touch a
cannot
thought?
because there's no such thing as a
Right.
thought.
So
Listen,
so
hold up,
if
listen. There's no such thing as a thought. A thought is a figure of speech. I know you understand the English
what?
language. Yes, the word
Where'd
thought.
you get that idea from?
Listen, the word thought is a concept that defines the chemical reactions that take place neurologically in the human
So
body.
you believe that the chemical reactions
It's
are doing
not
it. What
it's
evidence do
not
you
it's
have that
not it's
chemical reactions are
it's
doing
not
it?
it's not a belief. It's a
What
fact,
what
bro. It's not a it's
what
listen,
what,
listen,
what
listen,
evidence do you have
listen,
that chemical
listen,
reactions are doing it?
listen, listen.
I'm
Bro,
asking you a question.
bro, I'm talking. That's why I said listen. The word thought, words in general are concepts. Concepts that we use to either represent things that are purely imaginary that we conjure up in our minds,
But
or
imagination is a
bro,
thought.
let me finish talking.
Imagination is a thought.
Let me finish talking.
You've been talking the whole time. I haven't
Words,
got my opportunity.
words are conceptually used
But
to
you can't see
represent.
words.
Bro, I am talking. Words are conceptually used to represent things that are either imaginary, fictional, metaphorical, hyperbolic, or to represent things that are real. The way we distinguish between things that are real and things that are purely conceptual is that words that are real, usually whatever that word is describing, you can independently observe it,
Prove a word.
independent of the
Prove a word.
words.
Prove
Okay,
prove a word.
bottle.
Say what?
When I say the word bottle, what comes to your
Prove a
mind?
word.
When I say the word bottle, what comes to your mind? What's the definition of a word?
I'm asking you to prove a word.
Hold
I'm
on. You want me?
I'm asking you to
Yes,
prove a word.
yes. You want me to prove a word, but I want to make sure that you
Yes.
know what a word means. What is a word?
No, I'm asking you.
You want me to
You
tell you
said
what?
you're you're using thought.
You want me
You're
to tell?
using your
Do you
imagination.
want me? Do
You
you
are
want me to
using your
tell you what a word
imagination to
is?
use
Do
words to
you
create
want
thought.
me to tell you what a
Right,
word?
right.
Listen,
Language.
Calvin,
Language is not tangible, is it?
Calvin.
Is language
Calvin,
tangible?
Calvin,
Can you touch language?
Calvin, I have a lot of guests in line. You seem like a smart guy. So stop
I'm,
doing
I'm,
that.
I'm asking. You're not answering any of
Stop
my
doing
questions.
stop doing that. Because I'm talking and you're talking while I'm
Right, right.
talking.
Even the spelling the is no God.
You don't think that I know that I spelled it wrong? I'm looking at the screen.
Right.
If you interrupt me one more time, bro, as much as I want to talk to you, I will drop you. You look at me, bro. I'm actually talking really calm, different than usual. It's okay if I express myself, no matter what you want to say. It's my program. I'm at very least expect you to understand that. Even if I talk for 5 and 10 minutes, then give you 1 minute, it's fair. It's my
Then
program. I
what's
get
the
to
point of
decide.
bringing somebody up if they can't say anything?
Because you needing to say something doesn't mean I can't say what I want to say. Just because you're my guest doesn't mean that you supersede me.
So I don't get to say anything at all.
You're gonna say something when I give you a chance to, and I plan to give you a chance to. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna say what I want to say.
All right, right. I'm gonna let you have your spot. I'll be quiet. Explain to us what a word is.
The fact that it took you this long to understand that shows that
No,
you're not
explain
half
to
as
us what a word is.
you're not half
We
as
can't have
intelligent.
thought.
Bro, stop talking. I'm
I'm asking
talking
you a
and you're
question.
talking. Don't
Help
ask me
me
a
understand
question.
the question.
Don't
Help me
ask me a
understand the
question.
question.
Don't ask me a question. I'm talking.
Answer the question.
Before I tell you what a word is, I don't think you know the meaning of the word. So when you ask someone to prove to you something that you don't know the meaning of, you're talking to a
You're
fool. Now you tell me the definition of what you want me to prove.
You're saying that thoughts don't exist. You just said that.
Tell me the meaning of a word, and then I'm going to show you a word. What does a word mean? What do you want me to prove to you? Do you know the meaning of what you want me to prove to you? Because if you don't know the meaning of what you want me to prove to you, I can show you anything and you wouldn't know if that's it. So I need to confirm that you know what you're wanting me to prove to you. If you know what you want me to prove to you, then I can prove it to you by showing you something that is consistent to what you know. But if you don't know what a word is, and I show you this as a word, how will you know that this is not a word? So you tell me what a word is. Then I will show you a word. Period. Stop acting like someone that has some type of mental slowness. Tell me what a word is, and I will show you a word. I'm going to count to 5. If you don't respond, I'm going to the next guess. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I rest my case. Oh, man. Too slow for you. Too slow for their own good. I don't give a shit who you think you are. It's my program. I will mute you. I will mute you if you talk while I talk. I have an audience.
Hello?
I don't care if you're Jesus Christ. You will not talk until I give you permission to talk, with all due respect. What's up?
Hello?
Of course I muted him. What's up, Azun? John?
I'm good. Straight to the point. I don't have to waste your time.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
You say there is no God or there is no Jesus. Which one are you talking about?
There's no God, there's no Jesus. All that stuff is fantasy.
Can you explain for me how when you are moving the road, you saw mountain, you saw sea, you saw road? How did this world start on existence if you don't believe in God? Let's keep Jesus aside. Let's talk about Jesus. Let's talk about God.
It came from 2 giant testicles. The mountains came from 2 giant testicles.
Who planted it there?
The testicles are everlasting testicles.
How come the testicles come to existence?
It's almighty. It's always been there.
Almighty. How
Yes.
the Almighty? Who is the Almighty that planted it there?
The giant testicles.
How did these testicles come to an existence? This is what I want you to come from.
The
Forget about
testicles.
Jesus. Let's go to God straight.
Because
it's not classified.
The testicles are the supreme beings. They're eternal.
These pre-beings internals. When did this start on existence? How did it come to existence on this earth?
It did not come into existence. It's always been there.
Who put it there?
Nobody.
So you just wake up and start existing over there.
Yes, just like God. The
My
giant
friend,
testicles.
try-
Bro, listen now. Listen,
Okay.
John. The testicles
Yeah.
is just like God. Everything God can do, the 2 giant testicles can do. So wherever you think God came from, and whoever you think created God, is the same person who created the 2 giant testicles.
So when you're moving on the road like this, you saw mountain. How did the mountain come to existence for the first time?
The testicles dropped it. It came out of the testicles.
So
Yes.
the testicle is now an artificial technology.
No, the testicles is not artificial. It's natural.
It's
It's
natural. So
It's supreme.
this is supreme natural. How did this supreme natural come to existence? Something brought it to this earth on existence.
No, it did not come into existence. It's just like God.
So that is God, right?
Where did God come from?
You are the one asking you. Say there is no God.
No.
You
I'm
not
not. I'm talking about the testicles. But you believe in God, right?
I believe in God.
Where did
I
God-
believe that.
where
I
did God-
believe that is
Where-
God
where-
that
where-
created heaven and earth.
Yes, okay. But where did God come from?
This is what you're supposed to explain for us. You that believe there is no God. I don't know.
Bro.
but what I know is that there is God that created heaven and earth.
If I say there's no God, that means God comes from nowhere. You say there is a God, so I'm asking you, where did that God come from?
God is a spirit that nobody knows how he exists in this earth.
The 2 giant testicles is a spirit. Nobody knows how the 2 giant testicles came to this earth.
This giant you are talking about, who planted in this earth? This is what I want to know.
It's
For
a
the first
spirit.
time.
It's a spirit.
It's a spirit. This spirit
Yeah.
is God. That means that is God.
So God is so you believe that God is 2 giant testicles.
God is a spirit. Nobody see God. So if you say that
God
in
is
this
God,
earth,
God,
that means
God,
there is
God,
God.
God is a spirit like two giant testicles, right?
If you believe that there is gianticles, that means there is God, because these gianticles start from
Okay,
God.
okay, yeah. So okay, fine. Yeah, your God exists. Two giant testicles. You can even look between your legs. You see two
I
giant
don't care about
testicles.
gianticles. These
Listen,
gianticles
listen,
you are talking
listen,
about that
listen,
start one
listen,
day,
listen,
if you
listen.
believe that there is
John,
gianticles, that means there is
John,
God.
John. Look between your
Yes,
legs. Look between your legs. You will see.
I look already.
You will see the spirit. You see the spirit that created everything. It's hanging between your legs. Thank you for your time. Okay.
Spirit, I don't understand. I was born from
Yeah.
my mom and some from my dad.
Oh no! Look at those two things between your legs. You will know how it came to. You will know how everything
Brother,
came to existence.
when you want to make this program specifically,
Talking to slow people, man. He didn't understand. I was trolling him from the beginning. If you could make up a God in your head, I can make up anything in my head and tell you that it's true. Right? Oh man. Why are you guys so pathetic? Why are you guys such an embarrassment to your own intellect? What's up, Zen? Damn. Zen is a spirit right now. Zen is a spirit right now. Zen is in the spiritual realm right now. Zen is speaking in tongues. Shed Baba Sheker. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. Holy Father, let your will be done. I'm translating. I'm translating. Oh, Lord God. Yes, the earth will hear your glory. May the trembling and the thundering of your voice take over. May the righteousness of your snore be adored. That man snores in the rhythm. That man snores in the rhythm. This is actually funny. This is actually funny. Oh man. I sent Calvin to go and rest with the ancestors because he could not follow basic instructions. What's up, Don? What's up, Don? My brother, critical thinker, just hold up, okay, please.
Hello?
What's up, man?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing all right. What you got?
I just want to ask, so is the statement of whether there is no God, is that a claim or is it a statement? I mean a fact, sorry.
It's an undeniable,
Got it?
provable, observable truth and fact.
And can you enlighten me on the observable facts and everything there is to help?
God, as described, is something which doesn't exist, and things that doesn't exist have
Right.
no representation independently within reality. If you can point your finger somewhere where I can go and find God, see God,
Mhm.
smell God, touch God, then your God is real. If your God is purely a product of human imagination, if you have to explain your God to me, if you have to conceptualize your God,
Right.
then your God does not exist. That's what I mean.
Okay. That's a great point. What about like spirituality? Is that the same thing? Is that imagination
Yes,
or
sir.
souls?
Spirituality, the modern word for spirituality is mentality. So
Hmm.
spirituality represents mental faculties. It's a product of the
Okay.
mind.
Okay. So is this all metaphorical, basically?
It's literally poetry. You are correct.
Okay. Um, I'm not coming on here to say I believe in God or I don't. I just been listening for a while, and I think you're very insightful, and I've learned some things listening. So I don't know. I want
It's
to.
actually really simple, my bro. The only problem is that religious people have attachment. They have emotional attachment to certain ideas, right? So when you
Yeah, a
suggest
lot of
an idea,
people just
yeah,
believe in things because it makes them feel good. But
that's literally what it is. That's literally what it is. That's what religion is. That's why
okay.
everyone literally has their own, right? That's why you have such a thing as a
Yeah,
Muslim and a Christian. If there was a God, we would not be arguing, yo. I'm telling you, you will never see a live
no,
on
for sure.
TikTok where people argue if there is a sun in the sky, because we can all
Definitely.
independently observe it. You will never see an argument if we argue if water is water. It's independently observable. But when people begin to make shit in their head and then assemble in groups, they begin to feel like there's any substance in what they're saying. God does not exist. It doesn't matter how many people believe in it. It doesn't matter how
Yeah,
many people believe in Santa Claus. Santa Claus doesn't all of a sudden become real if an entire nation of people begin believing in Santa Claus.
exactly. And it's just funny how off that simple, observable fact that there is no God, that it can just rile up a, a great amount of people and like twist up their emotions just because someone doesn't believe in what they believe.
Belief is not the standard by which we establish truth. You can believe
No.
anything you want to believe and still be wrong. That's why when you make statements, if it's true, it doesn't have to be something that you believe in or even disbelieve. The truth is the truth. This is the bottle of
Hmm.
water. Period. I'm not asking if you
What?
believe or
So
if you don't believe. It's a bottle of water,
yeah,
and I'm gonna drink it.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Do you when you refer to God, what do you refer to it as? Like I'm curious.
I'm referring based on its definition. It's defined as the creator of the universe and the source of all moral authority, the supreme being. There is no creator of the universe,
Interesting.
there is no supreme being, and there is no source of all
Right.
moral authority. Because morality is subjective, it's based on your experience and your culture and your environment.
Morality is definitely subjective. That's correct. That is correct. Man.
Thank you for your time, my brother. You and I are not in
Could I
disagreement.
ask you one more? Hey, look, before I leave, can you give me a book to read?
Read the book of your life. Read the book of your
Type
life.
shit. All right, bro. Type
Take a
shit.
pen. No, my good brother, listen. Take a pen and a paper and think back as far back in your life as you can remember and write it down. But when you write it down, write it in chapters and verses. So start from chapter 1 and then verse 1 and write down as much as you can remember about your life. All the
Hmm.
mistakes you made, all the lessons you learned, write them down all the way to this point. When you're done writing them down, read over it and write more. That's the only book you really need to read. Just know yourself. And if you cannot remember,
Appreciate that, man.
write it down.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, you're welcome.
You have a good day.
You're welcome. There's only one group of people in this world that practice idolatry: Christians and Muslims. Christians worship books, paper, and ink, and Muslims worship a black stone and paper and ink. You're the only idols, worshippers. To be honest, let me prove to you that Christians worship the Bible. They believe that is the word of God, even though most of them have never read it. 99% of Christians have never read the whole Bible. They just believe it's the word of God. Isn't that idolatry? That is idolatry. You're idolizing the book that you've never read. They go to church, they build these buildings and put a stage, and then they idolize the stage. They take these human beings, make them pastors, and idolize them. Only Christians and Muslims practice idolatry. Everybody else is just entertaining themselves. That's right. If you don't like what I'm saying, cry about it. You're wrong, no matter how much you believe that you're right. Because there's no evidence to support what you're saying. What's up, man?
Hello.
Yeah, hit your point. Go straight to your point.
Yeah, you get to me?
I'm getting you, bro. Go straight to your point.
What I want to say is that I think there is God. Despite the fact that you've said that there is not God, but I believe that there is God. The reason,
Congratulations for your belief. You're still wrong.
yeah, I am on the same side with you on the fact that maybe religion has taken advantage of the people, more especially by bringing in the idea or the concept of maybe Jesus Christ, and even maybe the Muslim bringing in the idea of Muhammad. But if we are to sit down and understand things very, very carefully, you understand that there is God. Just for the fact that I can prove that by saying that just for the fact that we are born uh, not by our will, and we also die not by our will, it shows that uh, there is God,
No,
and I believe that God,
it shows that the world is random. That's actually what it proves. That's a lack of intelligence. There's no specific plan. There's no specific order to which people are born and which people die. People are born
uh,
haphazardly, right? You don't know the face of your child until the child comes out. And when the child is dead, the only thing left is the memories. That's what's real.
yeah, but what I believe is that I think God is supernatural, is in the realm that we cannot see. Of course, I understand that
All
uh,
supernatural
in
things
the
are superstitious. Everything supernatural is superstitious. That's why it's called super. Supernatural, superstitious. Superman.
so if I can ask you a simple question, uh, how simple can you explain where we come from and where we go?
We don't come from anywhere. We don't go anywhere. We're a genetic product of the sperm and egg that comes out of our parents, right? And if we just change form from that sperm and egg, there's a chemical reaction and an electrical reaction that allows a human being to develop in the incubator, which is your mother's womb. And when you die, your body decomposes. You lose all personalities. You lose all identity. You cease to exist as a person. Only thing that's left is byproduct, raw material, void of intelligence, void of purpose.
Yeah, I get that, but I feel that is we can say that because that's the thing that is exposed to us. That's beyond the limit of what we can see,
It's not
or
a
the limit of what is.
it's not a limit. That's not just what we can see. That's what
Yeah,
it is. That's what it is. We have the ability to see things that as they are without any limits. That's simply what it is. This is water. There's nothing about this water that I'm not seeing that will make it not water. It's water, and I'm gonna drink it, and then it's gonna come out as piss or sweat or shit. That's it. I don't need to exaggerate anything about it. You don't need to exaggerate what you see. Okay, when you start saying that it's a
okay.
mystery to something that's observable, bro, that's an exaggeration.
According to science, I will just ask it based on we're talking of water. According to science, water is just a combination of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen.
It's still
But
water.
since
It's still
yeah, it's
water.
water,
It's not gonna
it's
change the
still
fact that it's
water.
water. It doesn't come from anywhere. It doesn't go anywhere. It's like you asking me where does water go when it evaporates? Like, bruh.
No, no, I haven't asked my question yet. My question is, why is it difficult for people? We understand, we know the fact, we know that the fact is that water is a combination of two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen. But still more, no man in the earth has ever created his own water. Why is that the case?
Because water is naturally occurring. It's neither created nor destroyed. It can only be changed from one form to another. We don't have a need to create something that's already there.
So if it's something that,
Why should we create water? Why do we have a need to create water? I mean, if you lived on Mars, maybe you need to create water. If you live in the sun, maybe you need to, but there's an abundance of it here. It's like you say,
yeah,
I'm gonna build a house, but I already have a mansion, bro. It's
why is it
redundant.
that we create?
Why is it that we create other human beings, yet we know there is abundance of human beings on earth?
We don't really create other human beings. Human beings are a product of pleasure, right? We go seeking the pleasure, right? And we need help, right? So me and my wife, we need help. So we're not lonely. So we know how to bring children about. So we bring children about. That's why there's such a thing as families. Of course, there's an abundance of people on earth, but it's difficult to form relationships with people with whom you're not related. It's best to have a relations that are close, related by blood. That's why it's called blood relation. The relationship is in the blood. So you're not really creating, you're just transforming your blood into a tangible human being that has an expiration date.
I understand you. But now, the other question that I would like to ask is that uh, I understand there is this issue of trying to awaken Africans, because Africans, maybe most of them, they do not really think, they are taught to believe. Uh, and maybe I've been one of the victims, maybe been taught to believe since my childhood. But I understand that we need to think for us to understand what is it all about, this world. But don't you think that as we are trying to think or reason, as well as trying to think that we are awakening, don't you think that there is also a problem whereby we are limiting ourselves to think that whatever we are thinking in the burst, whatever Christianity and Islamic brought in, has limited our thinking? Don't you think that we are also
It's
being
not just,
limited?
we're not just being limited by Christianity and Islam, we're also limited by our primitive beliefs because we live in a modern world. So even our own traditions need to be modernized. But we cannot even get to modernizing our traditions and our cultures because we're still stuck in foreign religions and foreign belief systems. So yeah, like if were to get rid of Christianity and Islam, we still have a lot of work to do modernizing our cultures. We have a lot of uncivilized traditions, right? In some tribes, they kill some types of babies, they eliminate babies they don't like. They have all these superstitions. We need to fix all of that. We need to become men who are responsible for advanced technology. We need to be building AI and helping ourselves calculate and deal with complex problems. We need to solve a lot of problems. And those problems are not just exclusive to Christianity and Islam. Even our own belief systems have been limiting us, our own ways of thinking. That's why we need to think and deconstruct and then reconstruct. Reconstruct with modern, better, solid material. When you break down a house because the house is old, you don't build it with the old material. You build it with new material. It's simple as that.
Um, Maybe lastly, I believe that to me, uh, maybe I used to say that God is love. So considering the fact that uh, maybe we have got our parents. I mean, for example, you have got your mother, maybe your father, who is now old enough. All his life, maybe your father has been believing that God is real and God exists. Don't you think that if you tell your father today or you tell your mother today that God doesn't exist, that will bring trauma on your parents? And apart from that, for the
That's
fact
their
that you
problem.
love your
That,
parents.
that that's their problem. And you cannot teach an old dog a new trick. And if we're doing everything that our parents were doing, white people will still be enslaving black people. You think white people should listen to their parents? Just in the 60s.
So,
When I even talking
so
about a long
what?
time ago, just 50 years ago, white people didn't want to go to the same school as black people because their parents told them that. We have to learn and be different from our parents. There's nothing wrong with that, whether they approve or they don't approve. Our parents' approval is not
So
what determines how we move forward.
so what do we tell? Because we love our parents, we can't let them fall into trauma at
But
their
our
later
love
age.
our love for our parents is not an excuse to be gullible. Our parents need to be smart enough to allow us to be ourselves and understand that we're going to be different from them because we have different experiences. If they go into trauma because we're not what they want them to be, then they brought that upon themselves. It's not our responsibility to make ourselves foolish and gullible in order to satisfy their lack of understanding of the fact that the world changes and the world improves. The parents
Yeah,
of
I understand.
the parents of some white people did not like the fact that black people were free, so they formed a hate group called the Triple K organization, right, where they could express their
Yeah.
hatred. That's how it works, my friend. That's how it works. It's like when you're stuck in one mentality, our parents, our love for our parents, doesn't mean that we have to be foolish. No. Our goal in this life is not to make our parents happy. Our goal in this life is to survive the best way possible.
Yeah.
So if I
Yes.
if your father is unhappy because you became an engineer but he wanted to be a doctor, that's his problem. That's his problem. That's not your
Okay.
problem.
Now, apart from that, let me just add on something. Let's not talk of this God, the God that was brought in by the Christianity and the Islamic. Before, a long time ago, what was happening actually was that, for example, our ancestors, maybe in Ghana, they were praying to people in Ghana before long before
It doesn't matter.
long time ago.
It doesn't matter where the religion originates. It's still superstitious. It's not real. Whether it originates with Africans or not. We live in 2024. God don't build roads. God don't build airplanes, and God don't help you with healthcare when you're sick. That's why I told you that even if we get rid of the foreign religions, we still have to modernize our own belief systems because we have a lot of superstition as well. The next time you're hungry, pray that God should fill your stomach. Pray any God you want to and see if your stomach will get full. No, God, you have to go and look for food. What
Okay,
makes
yeah,
the world move forward is the work
I
you do.
understand. I understand you on that one, but should we, our parents used to say that long time ago they were able to go to the shrines and pray for the rain, and the rain used to come. Should we say that just because our parents did not put something on the paper, like there's nothing else we
Tell
can
those
read and
parents,
understand?
tell those parents to go and pray that rain should fall in the Sahara Desert. Tell them to go and demonstrate. Like I said, it's superstition. No one is stopping your parents from going to the shrine right now and praying that rain should fall in the Sahara Desert. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
It's superstition, my bro. It doesn't work. Thank you so much, my bro. I appreciate you.
you're welcome, brother.
Many of you don't like what I'm saying. My advice to you is cry about it. It's not going to make your God real.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, so go straight to your point. You don't have too much time. Give me like less than a minute. What's up?
Okay. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about religion, but there's the thing I'll put across. Uh, you believe that the phone you are using right now, someone made it. Maybe it's iPhone or Samsung. You believe someone made that. But how come you don't believe that the person that made that phone was made by different things? That's the question I want to ask you.
First of all, I don't believe that a phone was made by a person. I don't believe anything about a phone like that.
A
I know
phone, the
that
phone that you have right now, who made it?
it was made by a company which is made up of many people. And
Let's just say you have iPhone, right? Let's just say you have
listen,
iPhone.
listen. I know
iPhone was
that.
made by
I know
Steve
that.
Jobs, right?
No,
Steve
iPhone
Jobs,
is
right?
no. Steve Jobs did not make the iPhone that I'm using right now.
Who made it?
Somebody in
Who
China,
brought the first iPhone?
some engineering. The first iPhone was not
Mm,
made by Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs might
yeah.
have been the leader of the company who made it, but he didn't make it himself.
Oh, let's
You
just, but
understand?
you believe someone made it, right?
No, it's not someone who made it. I know how it was made. It was made by a
How
combination.
iPhone was made?
It was made by a.
Or the hat you wearing, you
Are you
believe
gonna stop?
someone
Are
made
you
it?
gonna stop talking, bro?
Okay, I'm listening.
A phone is not made by a person. It's made by a combination of people making different
Okay.
parts. And even the
At
person
least
that
someone made it.
even bruh, there's a difference between someone making something and people making something. When something is made by multiple people,
Yeah.
you give each of them credit for it.
At
You
least
don't
there's a owner.
you
There's some a group of people or individual.
yes,
There's someone that made
yes,
it, right?
yes.
Yes.
It was made by
Okay.
a group
But
of people.
you don't believe the person that bring that mindset, all those group that bring that mindset, you don't believe that someone put them on this earth. How?
Are you slow? How many times have I told
Yeah.
you that the way you come into this earth is if your father and your mother have sex and bring you into the world? I know that each of
Yeah.
those, if
Yeah, but
each of those people has a father and a mother, and that's how they came into the world. There's
that's
no
how they
mystery
came into
there.
the world.
It's not.
That's
There's
how
no
they
mystery.
came.
Yes, it's not mysterious. It's
Okay,
simple. It's
okay.
simple.
I'm not going to debate on that too much because that is your belief. No matter how I talk, you're going to
Brother,
stay
are
remain
you
where you
telling
are.
me that there
But
is somebody in this world right now who did not come into the world through their father and their mother?
that was the process they came
Are
through.
you saying to me that there is somebody in this world who did not come into this world through their father and their mother, by their father and their mother, by their father and their mother's decision?
Yeah, so that means they
Are
just
you saying
existed
that
like
there
that,
is
right?
somebody in this world who did not come into this world through their father and their mother?
No, I did not argue on that.
Okay,
That's
so there's
true.
no argument. There's no argument there. And your
I'm not
question,
okay.
your line of
Let me
questioning right
proceed.
now
Let me proceed.
listen, your line of questioning right now is completely irrelevant because you're ignorant about how the world really works. That's why you keep assuming that somebody made a phone. Anyone who tells me that a phone was made by somebody is an ignorant person who doesn't know what a phone is. It's like you saying a car was built by a person. The moment you suggest that, you don't know what a car is. A car is not made by a
But
person. A
it
car is
was
not
made by
made by a
who?
person. It's made
It
by
was
a
someone
group.
that's
It's
it was
made.
someone that
It is
said
made
and
by the
imagined that there
combination.
should be a car, right?
It's made by the combination of a work of multiple people. There's a huge difference when
But at least
one person.
it was made by a person, right? You
It was
believe that it was made
made by people, not by a person, by
okay,
people.
people. I don't mind. I don't mind. That's true. It was made by people because you know there's a creator of a car. There's someone that made it.
No, there
Even if
is
it's
not a creator of the car. There is creators,
okay.
plural.
I don't mind. That's true. But you believe that exists, but you don't believe
I don't
that.
need to believe that that exists because I can see
Okay,
it. I can see it
okay.
as
I
it's
want to put
happening.
that I respect that. That is your opinion. I won't
It's
agree
not
with
my
you on that.
opinion. It's an
That is
undeniable
your
fact. Do
opinion
you know any
because
car in this world that was made by one person? Do
I don't
you
mind that.
know any car in this world that was built entirely by
That
one
is
person from
true.
scratch?
That is true. It was
Do
made by
you
a group
know?
of
Do you
individuals.
know? Do
It
you,
was made by a
brother,
group of
brother?
individuals. I'm not
Do
arguing on that,
you
bro.
know? I ask you a question. Yes
I
or
just
no?
want you to believe that
Yes
there's
or
someone out there
no?
that make it. That's all. I'm
Yes
not
or no? Do you know any car in this world that was made by one person?
that were made by one. No, I'm not
Okay,
saying that
then
one
listen.
person or
Then listen,
multiple
bro.
person.
Stop
I'm
talking,
not
Duke.
talking about that.
Duke.
Yeah.
If a car was not made by one person, then that's not my opinion. That's a fact. So when you say to me, that's your opinion, you're not reasoning. Your brain's not thinking. There's a difference between facts and opinions.
That is
Something,
true.
something which is
I just
true.
want you to believe that there's someone or maybe multiple people out there that made this car, right? You believe in that, right?
No, I don't believe in that. I know that.
Okay, you know that, right?
Of course, I can prove it.
But you don't want to believe that there's someone that made those multiple people because they didn't exist on this earth like that.
How do you know that?
There was
How
a
do you
process they came through.
how do you know that they did not exist in this world like that?
No, I'm asking.
How do you know that people did
I'm
not just exist in the
asking.
world like that?
I'm asking. You believe that someone made phone or manufacture phone, whatever, but you don't believe those people, a creature, a man, a human being. You don't believe that someone or maybe they came on this earth. Someone brought them into existence.
I've
Even
already
the fact
told
that they are
you. I've
walking like
already
that.
told you that it came through their father and their mother, bro. Are you slow? Come on, bro. Are you slow?
Okay, bro. Okay. Let me proceed. I want to ask you this.
You can count back for a
I want.
million years. Everybody has father and mother. You can count for 2 million years. You can keep
Okay. Okay.
counting
Okay.
as
I'm not
long
gonna
as you
agree
want
on
to
that.
count. Everybody always has a father and a mother.
Okay, bro. I believe in that, but I want to elaborate on this one. Right? You were saying something about China and Africa. Our man
Ah,
said about religion and stuff. I want to go back to that. You said Chinese don't believe in religion. That is why they are making all those progress today. I believe that there are a lot of religion that bring problems in Africa. I believe in that. But what I want to tell you is that it is not because of religion or because China doesn't believe in religion, they are who they are today. Chinese back in the days, let's just say 40 or 50 years ago, they send their kids, they send students back in abroad into this Western country to go and learn. That is what we Africans are not doing today. So that's different from
listen,
believing into a
Duke,
religion.
Duke. Again,
Yeah.
like I said, bro, I know you're not slow. Stop acting slow. Christians believe that the world can end at any time. People who believe that the world can end at any time will not want to send their children to school. They have no motivation. If you think Jesus is coming
No,
in
no, no.
5 years, listen
Everyone is
carefully.
sending their
Listen carefully. If you believe that Jesus is coming back in 5 years, why will you send your child to school to go and learn how to be a doctor if it's going to take your child 16 years to learn how to be a doctor? Don't you
all
understand?
Christians are
Don't you
all
understand that
Christians
the
are saying they are going to school
mentality?
today.
Do you
It's
not
because we
understand?
don't have a good government. We don't have a
Do,
good government
do,
that do the same thing that China do
do.
back in the day.
Stop talking when I'm talking, bro. The Chinese people send their children to school because they can only depend on being intelligent. They don't
But
have
what
any
does that
others.
have to do with religion? Because you were putting religion in that because you believe
Religion
in religion.
teaches
Do
people
you
that
know
the
Chinese have
world is.
religion?
Stop talking, do. Christianity teaches people that you cannot serve God and serve the world, that the world is passing away. The teachings of Christianity is counterproductive to achieving what the Chinese have achieved. That is why even
But
a Christian, bro, even a Christian who sends their child to school has to violate their own beliefs. That's why they are very confused. Because when you send your child to school and your child going to learn evolution and comes home and tells you that God did not create the world evolved, you start looking at your child like they're possessed. How many times
but
have parents said that if you send your children to school, they're going to learn that God does not exist? Even in America today, they don't like sending their children to university sometimes because they go and learn how the world really works. If you go to school,
but
don't
everyone
listen,
go to school.
bro. Stop talking.
You have to
When
listen to me too.
next guess. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, no problem. I
Some people are not worth talking with. I promise you. If you just lack a fundamental understanding of how the world works, it's a waste of time trying to
Hey,
reason with you.
hello.
What's up, man? What you got?
Finally, I've been listening. I've been digging in, and I've been feeling the conversation. And I think I like what you're onto. I appreciate minds like you, and I'm one of the people who believe that the concept of religion is man-made. That there are deeper connotations to it than meets the eye. You know, the whole concept of religion was created to continually divide mankind, because they know that the day mankind decide to come together and agree, the game will be up. And about God existing or not, it's it boils down to the philosophy of what is not, and the awareness of what is and what is not. So it's a question of belief, like you said. There's something in science, there's something called DNA phantom effect. It says that DNA takes the shape of whatever it comes in contact with. So the concept of belief is also part of that DNA phantom effect. You can't take away belief from mankind, because this whole world is a simulation. It's a simulation, and part of the control is your imagination, which leads some people to believe that your imagination is God, to the extent that whatever you believe is. That's why in the Bible, when Jesus, wants to hear, say, whatever it is you believe, let it be unto you. But I think I just want to chill on that and hear your feedback on what I just
I
said.
have no feedback because you haven't said anything that's worthy of argument. I honestly can just say thank you for your time, bro, because I mean you haven't said anything that's not realistic and that's not rational.
What's the rationale?
It makes sense. What you've said is practical. It's a good way of observing
Oh,
the
okay,
world.
thank you. Because like I said, I appreciate what you do. Because the way, if we took time to actually listen to each other, have a conversation without actually debating, we'll see we're talking about 6 and 9.
That's
See
impossible.
what I'm
That's
saying?
impossible. That's impossible for religious people to do.
Why? Why you say it's impossible?
Because when a religious person approaches you, they approach you with a mentality of conversion. That's literally why they believe in Jesus. A person who believes in Jesus doesn't come to you to have a conversation. He has something that he calls the gospel. And no matter what he's talking to you about, his intention is to try to persuade you. So he assumes that he has a superior information, even though he's making it all up in his head. So if you prove that you were smarter than a Christian and that you had more valuable information, they won't even listen. Because they've emotionally attached themselves to an imaginary idea. So it prevents them from expanding their minds. And those who expand their minds find a conflict between what they believe and the expansion that their mind allows them to discover. You understand? When you believe something as irrational as an almighty God created the world, and you learn that the world is not the product of creation, there's a conflict in your mind. It makes you restless. And you can see that through their behavior. You know?
Yeah,
But
I think there's a lot of eye opening that needs to be done.
I wish I could keep talking to you, bro, but I don't have too much time, bro. I appreciate you, okay?
It's all right, man.
Thank you
Maybe
so
another time.
much. Yes, sir.
It's all right, man. Have a good night.
You too, my brother. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm calling it quits right here. It's time for me to go. Thank you so much for everyone for pulling up here. I'll see you guys again tomorrow, okay? It's time for me to go, literally. Boom. God does not exist. If you don't like it, cry about it. God is a product of your imagination. You can imagine anything you want to in your head. It's okay. It's still not real.